Warning, the following contains material that may be too disturbing to some people. Descriptions of violence, mature situations, and adult themes. This is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. All right, I am here. Let's see. Hello. How you guys how are you guys doing? It's been a little while since we sat down and played this game. I don't know about you guys, but it's been a crazy week here. 1 second, I gotta fix the overlay. Anyways, I wake up today and I start getting the final things together. I'm checking the news and stuff, and I see that Twitter has been bought. So that's interesting. Other than that, just a lot of work this week. What have you guys been up to? How are you guys doing? You guys doing all right?
Doing pretty good here.
I'm doing good. I won a Peloton.
A what?
A what?
A Peloton.
Those things are expensive.
Yeah, my work hosted a weight loss competition, and whoever lost the most weight, won a Peloton. It's like a bike that's like $1,000.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
Well,
Congrats.
I am trying to fix the.
That's an interesting competition to have, though, for a workplace.
Let's do. I can't.
It's fun.
It's not cooperating. Un momento. Let me change scenes. All right. Well, sorry. I'm trying to fix things while you guys are talking. That's why I'm stalling.
Okay.
So you won a Peloton. What's that? I don't know what that is.
It's basically an exercise bike, but like it has a giant screen, and you have instructors on there that like teach classes and like walk you through. There's even like a mode where it takes you through like a sort of like a guided track through like different countries, and you can like
that's cool.
Like you can bike in Hawaii or the Netherlands.
That does sound pretty dope, actually.
A $300 bike.
Yeah. That's cool. I think now that you've described it, I think I saw an ad of it somewhere.
Right on. Well, congrats. Speaking of winning things, we're doing a giveaway here soon. Segue? I don't know. Tomorrow night we're doing the giveaway for the first copy of Nibiru ttrpg by Arcana Media. You can check out their website, arcana.com. It's ARAUKANA. So we're going to be giving away a copy of that tomorrow. If you want to win a copy, just be here for the live show tomorrow night, starting at 8 p.m. Central. And you'll just have to enter a word in the chat to make sure you get entered. And then that's that. Okay. I think we're fixed. Perhaps. Let's see. It appears so. It appears we are fixed. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Wow. First time streaming, so it's my first day on the job. Well, it's been a couple weeks, right? So maybe I'm out of practice a little bit here. So, what happened last time we played? Since it's been a few weeks, we kind of left on a cliffhanger, right?
We killed a god.
And
Yeah.
Vash may or may not be dead.
A little blowed up.
He might have been exploded. Yes.
Just once or twice.
Well, I guess we've yet to really see the fallout there. That's kind of the cliffhanger we left on, right? You guys killed Death. Death came into. You sort of watched through like a scrying portal as Death came into being. It left heaven with Judgment in tow. That was the baby. Handed Judgment over to the flesh creatures. They killed it. They killed Death's bodhisattva. I think a Grovey did that specifically. And there was some kind of exchange made that you guys all witnessed between Death, the Arcana, and the flesh, basically. And upon witnessing that, the guy draped in gold, who we saw during the attack on Nam von Kositen, Five Rings Crossroads, that same guy looked towards the camera that you guys were sort of watching all this through, the scrying spell, and said, "I see you." And then everything went to crap in the room you were in. Death itself basically teleported to you guys, killed the master, and started wreaking havoc in the room. You guys fought it, and you ended up killing the thing.
And then looting the place.
Yep.
Yes.
Drug. Well, I think we got away with at least one chest and a couple handfuls each.
No, I think that it was both chests because you were using the thing you summoned.
Who got the other chest? Yeah, the dragon grabbed one chest. I wasn't sure if anyone grabbed the other.
I thought the other chest was on its back or something. I remember both chests dropped to the ground at the end of last session because you had left it with us and we just both chests dropped down.
It dropped right next to the teleporter or to the circle. Probably also worth mentioning that we saw a couple interesting mind flayers, but I think we saw an army there, didn't we?
Yeah. You saw an army there. You saw like their leaders were the ones who were sort of like standing out. So you saw Agrovy is one of them. Now he's sort of like a flesh abomination, mind flayer kind of guy. Like half of his face still looked somewhat human, but he was like rotted, like an undead, like mind flayer. There was another one who had these very long white tentacles that seemed to be commanding a few of them, and these glowing sort of blue eyes. This was the same one that I believe Sha'ah had saw during that sort of like vision quest thing that happened when you guys first entered the Master Sanctum or whatever. There was another one that was like had a bunch of machinery on it. I remember describing like a helmet that was venting gas, and sort of like these mechanical arms that were sort of like gesturing to others around it. A lot of this gesturing to others around them would have been sort of like in a dominating fashion. Like the ones doing that were probably a bit larger, at least in some respect, and were sort of like almost like keeping the other ones in line, sort of thing. At least the ones around them. So it was almost like all these guys sort of had their own. Some of these guys, at least, sort of had their own like soldiers or underlings, kind of.
Tunes.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff. Agrovy didn't really have like people serving under him in any seeming way. He just kind of strode forward by himself and killed the Bodhisattva guy. Drove that dagger into his throat and stuff. And then there was the guy in the gold who seemed to be sort of leading all of them. I guess he seemed to be at the head of the whatever ritual or whatever was going on. Sort of like leading all that. Like it was his spear that activated the portal when we saw it open up.
On what scale was the army? Was it dozens or hundreds or?
Probably hundreds, yeah, at least.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a good time. Just a good time. A good thing for you guys to sort of like see yourselves going towards. Now, you did just kill death, though, right? Like that's a huge victory. Certainly. So they can die. I'm not sure how much of the context you guys would understand as characters, like as far as like, did we kill it because it came out of heaven, or if as characters you guys would have recognized the baby as judgment. I'm not sure. I'll leave that sort of stuff up to you guys as to how much of that your characters have grasped.
I think we killed it because we make a great team.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then right after the fight, everything started like falling apart because the master is dead. So the reality is sort of like evaporating. You guys started grabbing loot. Vash had made a promise to let someone out of the dungeons and convinced Agape to help him do that, help him keep that promise. And so everyone was teleported to the teleporter room with all their new loot, and they were going to make a quick trip to the dungeons to let old what's his face out. They did. Vash walked up to the cell door, turned the knob, and the room exploded with fire. And that's where
Dice
we
gods
ended.
betrayed me.
That's where we ended the session. I think we described like you guys being up in the room with the teleporter, and like you could feel the explosion below you. The crystals were lighting up, like beginning to activate. There's the room's shaking, quaking. There's probably bits of rubble that start to fall down from the ceiling, cracks that start to form on the walls. Like the place is coming apart. It's now or never. What are you guys doing as you're sitting in this teleporter room? And it looks like it's about to activate. Did you guys step into the circle? What's going on?
I'm gonna drag the chest that fell on the floor and onto the teleporter.
Okay.
Guys, something clearly happened to Vash, but I don't know if we can wait for him. We don't even know how to get there from here.
There are 2 chests, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there were 2 chests.
Well,
Okay, if there are 2 chests, then I'll try to drag the second one over as well.
Yeah. I know there was one that the summoned dragon was holding, right?
That's one Odayn just pulled.
Yeah.
It might have been that Vash had the other one, or it was holding the other one or something, and then left it like next to the dragon when he left with Agape.
We'll have to check the tapes.
Yeah. Either way, I'm pretty sure we have 2.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so you guys drag it onto the circle. You're going.
Yeah.
Man left behind.
Ishu is unsure. Like he doesn't step onto the circle just yet. He keeps looking back to where Vash was before he left.
Ishu, we can't stay. If he's still alive, I'm sure Agape will get him out of here.
Ishu, can you talk to Vash?
Um, is the link still there, Wolf? How does that work exactly?
No, because the last person that I put it on was the thingy in the room. I think.
Would Ishu be able to tell that the link's been broken, or is that something only you would know?
Perhaps. I mean, after traveling so long together, maybe. Like, just I don't know. It doesn't say in the thing, so
Yeah.
it's up to you.
Okay.
All the people in our party that has been connected with Vash is definitely Ishu the most.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give him a roll, at least. I think that's fair. Let's see here. Ishu.
When
I guess actually I can just be like
Vash and-
I can just be like, Wolf, why don't you make a roll? I can do that. I can do that now.
when
Yeah,
Vash and
I forgot
Ishu
about
were
that.
there before, didn't Vash talk to that guy through the mind link as well?
when they were
What-
when
what
they went
guy?
down to the dungeons the first time, you mean?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but
Because Ishu might be able to guess that he tried talking to the guy before he opened the door.
Well, yeah. I mean, what I'm trying to decide is like, is Ishu gonna try to reach out, realize that the connection was severed, and think, oh, Vash is dead, or like what's going to be going on there? So why don't you make an intelligence check with Ishu, Wolf, and based on how well you roll, I'd say above average. So, so what would he sense? Probably, I'd say he is pretty sure that you severed the connection to talk to the guy in the cell. I think he's fairly certain.
Okay.
So he turns back to you guys and he says, he could still be alive. He might need our help.
We could help him, Ishu, but we don't even know where he is. We don't even know where we are right now.
We don't
Agape
even know
teleported us here.
There's not any doors on this room.
we don't even know how to go. I mean, we have the dimension door, but we don't know how far away this is.
Yeah. Make a persuasion check.
Who?
Yeah, do you want Odayn or Orilyn to do it?
Either, and I suppose since you're both helping each other, you get advantage.
Okay. My persuasion is +9. What's Odayn's?
Give me a second. I just accidentally closed my roll 20.
Oh.
And then I guess Wolf.
You can go ahead. Yeah.
You can make the insight
I'll go
check
ahead.
as issue.
Oh, persuasion is 13.
Oh, you do it.
He's a bard, yeah. Oh, okay.
Nice.
So you crit. Okay.
Yep.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I don't think there's any way she's gonna beat that. Yeah. Okay. So he turns and looks one last time, and he kind of sighs. And there's like a part of the roof come down behind him, and like a bunch of this like stone detritus starts to like kind of fill the room, like powder and smoke and stuff. And yeah, he comes running towards the portal, or towards like the circle where you guys are standing as the crystals start to light up.
And Orilyn will
is-
add, if he's alive, then surely Agape is alive too, and Agape will get him out of here.
Are we the only ones in the room? Us and Avijay? Or are there other people in the room?
I mean, there's there's no other people. No. Like besides the party, you mean? I mean, like
Right.
Lyram's there, Ishu, Melora, Odayn, Sha'ah, and Orilyn, and Avichai are all there.
So Agape didn't get anybody else to the room, I think is.
Oh yeah. That's
What
basically,
he's implying.
yeah.
Basically what I'm asking, if anyone was evacuated or
Yeah.
found their way into this room.
No, nobody else has joined you guys. None of the like guards, none of the people you saw downstairs.
Not Tiandra.
No, not Tiandra. No.
And do we know how the teleportation circle worked?
No.
Do any of us?
Probably not. No. It was set up. It was set up just to use for you guys. But yeah, I mean, it's probably a safe bet. You don't know exactly how to use it. It could be like a, the crystals are lighting up. At least they were when we left off previously.
Well, in what I know from my previous lives, would I have been able to use a teleportation circle at any point?
I suppose you can make a roll and see. You have to roll really high.
Like a history check?
Yeah. I'll take either history or religion. It has to be a significantly high roll. Okay, unfortunately, a 4 is is a natural 2. Is not gonna cut it. No.
Maybe it's like our other spell where you just walk right through it, walk right on it.
But is it lighting up?
Yeah, it's lighting up. Yeah, as soon as you guys stepped onto the circle, it started lighting up. And the runes on the ground probably have started to glow as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we have to think about where we're going. Like, the ways that the people got us to the city.
How about we teleport to Vash?
We don't even know where Vash is.
That's the point. It will take us to where he is.
Are you sure that's how this works?
I don't know. I've never done this before.
Who's controlling Avichai? You can make an Arcana check.
I think that was me.
Yeah. You make an Arcana check. If he doesn't have the
find
skill,
a sheet.
yeah, intelligence check.
Sorry, what skill are you wanting?
Arcana.
Arcana. He does not. He has religion.
He's trying to figure out how the crystals work. So be intelligent.
Oh, I have Arcana.
You can do the same. You can do the same thing. Yeah.
Right.
Give you advantage because he's helping you. Okay.
Right, I forgot it automatically rolls advantage stuff. I was gonna have his roll and then do my Arcana roll.
All right. I'll make yours. See if you roll better than a 14. Okay. Natural 20. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you've seen these before in the Feywild. Maybe you've seen someone use them. Or maybe when you were in Mithrandain, you saw some of these or something like them. At least very similar. Typically, they have preset coordinates. It seems like it was set up to activate as soon as someone stepped into the circle. It just takes a few seconds, and then it's going to work. So, like, what be real bad if like someone started to like leave the circle and it went off, and they were like standing on the line.
Only half of them went.
Yeah, that would be real terrible.
What language
Orilyn,
are the inscriptions on the summoning circle or the portal?
Make what languages do you speak?
I speak Common, Gnomish, and Sylvan.
It's probably actually in Celestial. To be honest, does anyone still speak Celestial in the party?
What 2 languages did you pick for Avachai? Because his thing just says any 2 languages.
Does it
I'm
really?
assuming Common is. Yeah, I'm assuming Common is one of them, but I don't know what his other would be.
Let me take a look. Does it really say any 2 languages?
Yeah.
Let me ask. I think he probably would speak Celestial. I probably would have him speak Celestial because he's a cleric. So, I'll change that. And let's see. What would be another good language for Avachai? Abyssal. No.
Well, if it's only any 2 languages, I don't know if that includes Common or
Common
like
doesn't
if
count.
you.
I think
Everybody-
it
Or if
includes
Common
Common
would be the other
automatically,
one.
Yeah.
and then it's any 2 languages other than that because
Additional.
the Acolyte subclass lets you choose 2.
Oh, right. So his
Um,
racial would give him the.
Yeah, I'm
Or
gonna
backstory, I mean.
give him Abyssal. Celestial
Yeah.
Abyssal. All right. So yeah, Avachai like reads the runes. That's what his 14 intelligence check is. And as he sees you studying them, Lyram, he says he's like reading them out loud to the gate between the wild and dark. He says that out loud. And he looks up at you, Lyram.
What does that even mean?
Might mean the Faydock. Somewhere near the Faydock.
Can I make a history check to see if I've heard of it? Or read about Theater?
Sure.
Dane's gonna go to Avachai,
18.
and he's gonna hand him Lightbringer. He doesn't know what it is yet, but he'll give it to Avachai. You might need this. You don't know what to do.
Was that a mace?
Yeah.
Oh, that actually might be. I mean, his normal weapon is a mace. So, Ella, if you want to add that to his inventory, you can add Lightbringer. And I'll try to add it like as a proper action. At some point.
You might need to attune it. I'm not
was-
sure exactly.
He should have. Well, he did. Let me see.
+1 mace that
It
does an extra
does-
1d6 radiant damage.
You can go
Does
into the information tab and type in Lightbringer and it shows up. You can just
Oh,
drag
it
it.
does. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I just pulled it up.
Snap.
It does not require attunement, so
Oh,
he just
boom.
automatically.
It gave him a +0. I'm gonna give him a +4 because that's what his regular mace has. It has a +1 though, so it should be a 5 total. And then 1d6 +1. Looks like it's all programmed right as far as like how the damage works and stuff. All right. Cool. Well, that was easy. I didn't think it would be in the compendium.
Neither did I.
I wasn't sure. That's why I couldn't remember if that was something that Odayn named.
No, it was the item he rolled on the
Right.
table. I remember being like, well, this one already has a name.
All right. I remember now.
So yeah,
That's great.
cool. It's actually a really good fit for him.
So off of the 18, what did I get about the...
Okay. So, you do know a little bit about the Feydark. Have you ever been to the Feywild? Lyram?
I'd guess no, because I think that he just kind of appeared in the cave, which wasn't part of the Feywild.
Mhm. Okay, so maybe you heard
But you
about
don't take
it
him to
from
the-
someone else who was there, like maybe your creator or one of the other wizards who came to visit them at some time or interacted with them. So, the gate between the wild and the dark sounds like it could be some place on the border of the Feydark and the Feywild. You do know
Okay.
that the Feydark has a bunch of different entrances. You heard the person who you heard talking about this mention that there was several ways in and out of the Feydark. But there was even like a way in from one of the Feywild's like capital cities. Cities in quotes, because it's not like constructed. It's mostly like they live in the existing trees. For example, they have dwellings that are sort of like built like part of the natural environment. Everything except for the entrance to the Feydark in that city is basically what I'm saying is not constructed. So like that where the entrance into the Feydark is like the only place in the Feywild that person knew of where there seemed to be some kind of like construction that had been there at some point. And it was made out of stone. They probably mentioned that. It's a particularly kind of old stone, actually. You wouldn't know this, but for the audience and for the players, it's the same kind of stone that we saw way back when. The same kind of stone that sort of like crypt was built out of, that you guys rushed all the townspeople in back in Watan Tam to like protect them from the evil spirits outside. The place is made from that same kind of stone. As far as like just general information about the Feydark, it's more majestic and fantastic than its natural counterpart. I mean, I'm just looking up standard lore here. Inhabited by these things called Fomorians. They're sort of like giants, kind of like Fey spin on giants, basically. That
So
rule.
the things that Sha'ah was fighting, right?
I believe Sha'ah fought them at some point, right? That was part of your.
That's what Shaw's family they're hunting for Morians.
Okay.
That was the hunt for the Fomorians.
Okay.
That's how I made a story.
And as far as like what's in the like Feydark world of maze-like tunnels and portals that lead to other planes, there's all kinds of its own fauna and flora, animals and stuff that lives there. And yeah, I mean it's basically it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a Fey spin on the Underdark from the physical plane. Now I don't know if Lyram would know that there's potentially survivors there. Like there's been rumors of that. It sounds like for sure I'm going to count it 18 as a pass. It's taken you somewhere to like the entrance to the Feydark or something like that. Like a border in between the Feywild and the Feydark or something like that.
Alright, he doesn't have any problem standing in the circle then.
Okay. So is everybody ready to go? You guys all like just stand there on the portal, and the runes and crystals start to glow brighter and brighter, and they're glowing like this purple color. And assuming nobody else wants to do anything,
I'm gonna shout out. Everyone, prepare yourself. We don't know what's going to be on the other side. And then he summons the Sunblade in his hand.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we see Avachai like holds up his shield and this mace you just handed him. The sunblade appears in your hand. Ishu turns around and like looks like he's ready to cast something just in case. Orilyn, do you like draw your bow?
Yeah, she's got it ready in case we end up in an unfavorable location.
Yeah. Okay. And Melora like stands in front of Odayn. I think like like protective. All right. And then yeah, we see the ripple from the center of the circle, and a purple flash, as we see you guys vanish. And then the room, like the camera stays in the room, and we just see the room go dark. And the crystals, like the light from the crystals fades. The room keeps shaking, and we, the audience, get to see what happens after you guys teleport away. And we see the walls coming apart. There's bits of rubble and rock that fall down, and we see like these tears start to open in the walls, and there's light pouring in from them. The camera sort of like tries to catch focus and blurs for a moment, and then we can see as the room starts to blur, where the light and these sort of like tears in reality on the walls that start to open up on the floors is pouring through. We're seeing something there as that comes into focus, and what we see is the city of Shracht lore, the Gith city, the city of the people, but it looks very, very different. There's this thing over one of the tears that seems to be looking in the room at us, this enormous yellow eye. And it's sort of the perspective throws the camera off a bit, I guess, or throws the viewer off a bit because it's so close and it's so big in one section of the room. And then it blinks, and we can see like people moving around down in the city. There's lots of crowds forming. There's smoke. There's buildings that are being like they're in mid destruction. We probably see a few of them crumble, and like powder and smoke spread out from them as like the stone hits the floor. We see people running back and forth. There's clearly some kind of fight taking place. This large yellow eye that's sort of looking into the room through one of these tears backs off, and suddenly we realize that it's an immense giant tentacled squid, and it's sort of like floating in the air, so it like hovers away from us, and sort of like we see its reach out its tentacles and like wrap around the building. I mean, this thing is the size of like the Empire State Building, and it like reaches out its tentacles and wraps around the building. Down and below in the streets, we see mind flayers and Gith fighting each other. Mostly, we get shots of like people you guys met while you were there. Perhaps the Losijo or whatever, the guy that Wolf brought back is fighting. The Anarch we met is fighting some of these guys. Maybe we see a few of them get killed by these things as they lose the fight. These things like wrap their tentacled mouths around the back of their skulls, and there's a sick crunching sound as their bodies go limp. Then we cut. We sort of like fade back to the dungeon where Vash was. We see him reaching out to that door again. We see him turn the handle, and then we see an explosion. Agape is standing farther back, back in that room that they sort of like arrived in, that room with all like the storage stuff. We see the explosion happen, and as soon as the flame bathes the hallway, the camera sort of like freezes, and we zoom in on like Vash's like pupil as it contracts in response to the bright light coming from the room, and we see him like almost like slow-mo pulling his hands back to instinctively try to guard his face. But like looking at what's taking place, like even though it's like frozen or it's in extreme slow motion, there's no way he's getting out of this. Like he's right in front of this explosion going off. Like parts of the door are being ripped off the and this is a big iron door. They're like being ripped off the hinges by the force of the explosion. Inside the room, we see a red dragonborn who's like bathed in this flame, and he's just sort of smiling. He's like stepping forward like he's about to exit the room, and he's wearing this like thick metal armor. Yeah, as everything like freezes, we see Vash's like pupil contract. Then we cut to a scene.
It's not good.
A scene that we've seen before. Whoops. Hang on. Just fix a couple of things here. So we're gonna be fading into the place we've seen Vash talk to Tulpa. The place in his mind, that sort of forest, is what it's become now. It's most recently been like a Feywild inspired overgrowth of forest, right?
I think so.
Okay. And let me show you guys what it looks like. Okay. So we see you guys sort of like in this clearing, in this forest here, and we hear the sounds of like wildlife, maybe some birds, and sort of like across the clearing from you, like you look to your side. You remember everything that just happened. You just opened that door. There's an explosion, and now you're here. And standing beside you is Tulpa, I guess, looking like a Grovey. I think the last time we described him, you were like, I think he probably would still look like a Grovey. But you would know this is Tulpa. And then across the sort of clearing from you is this Dragonborn. You've never seen one of these before, so this kind of looks like Ishu, but taller, more muscular. And there's a certain like tenacity that sort of like emanates from him. And you might even recognize him from when you were like peeking through the door and stuff. And he's got his back to you. He's not even facing you. He's facing away from you. He's just like taking it all in. Like he's looking out at the trees, and he's stretching his arms out and kind of like almost like prostrating to the sky, like just taking in the sunlight, like enjoying like being here. What do you do?
Hey, if he is not looking at me, do I need to establish the mind link with Tulpa to talk to him in my head, or is it?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay, so I'll just very quickly shoot to Tulpa. Tulpa, did you do this?
Yeah, he looks to you and he just shakes his head.
What does Tulpa? Does Tulpa look scared or
Make an insight
confused?
check.
Or okay. Oops, that was the GM.
Okay. He does look scared. Yeah.
Good. Great.
And actually, now that you mention it, like he's looking at something on you, like particularly, and you look down and you realize that your robes are singed at the edges. Suddenly, your like the skin on your face, it feels like you just got a really bad sunburn. Like there's a little bit of pain. It just suddenly like hit you.
So he says no.
Yeah, he shakes his head no, and he looks very scared, and concerned, and about you in particular.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Is the dragon creature still looking away?
Yeah, you don't have to say anything. Like you can just wait if you want, right? Like I don't know if you ever played a Telltale game, but you get these dialogue options, and sometimes you get one that's just 3 dots. Like
just ellipses.
Yeah. Like you can choose that option if you want, and then like presumably he'll do a thing maybe, or say something instead of like you speaking first.
Oh, I guess out loud, Vash is going to call out. Did you bring us here?
Yeah, he doesn't answer you, but he turns around and he has this unsettling grin on his face. You can see his sharp teeth, sort of like, it's almost not even like a smile. It's almost more like he's gritting his teeth in rage. Is sort of, but it's hard to describe. And he sort of like makes that face at you and like tilts his head to the side. And then he takes a step forward and he says, "What is this place? Is the rest of your world like this now?" He like sort
What's
of
that question?
Looking around.
Vash is going to say, this isn't the world. This is just a thing. This is a place in my head.
Yeah, he nods. And he says, there's so much fuel here. He kind of like tilts his head back and kind of like closes his eyes, and he says, "I can't wait to bathe it in flame."
I have control over this place, right?
Somewhat, yeah.
Somewhat. Yeah, do I get to choose what the landscape is like?
I think it's more of like a state of mind, right? Like if you can.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of, it's kind of like, this is your like happy place or whatever, right? So like it's like whatever truly is the whole idea is like it's whatever it represents you. You know what I mean? It represents like where you are in your life, how you're thinking, that sort of thing. It's always been my intent anyway.
Okay.
So like if you would like to change it, you can certainly try to do that. Like, but try to make it like
changing your mindset.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, yeah, if you're doing that, you're changing part of you. Did you go back to the old Vash where this was all like ash? Like
that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, because it used to be like a burnt forest, right?
Yeah, but you wanted to change it, and it was my understanding it was like, yeah, well, Vash is like maybe he's starting to think a little bit differently now, or like he's seen something in the world that he does appreciate, and so this reflects in his like mind sanctum.
That is true. Yeah. I think instead Vash is just gonna step closer to Tulpa, kind of slowly and non-provocatively, and just say, "That's none. Did you? What is going on? I remember flames, an explosion. Looks like I got a bit singed. Did you save us? Save me somehow?"
You're asking Tulpa if he's...
No, I'm asking him,
oh.
the dragon.
Oh, okay. So like when you take a step towards Tulpa, he like watches you kind of like curiously, and he looks at Tulpa, and his face like any like that grin or that sort of like emotion that he's been showing on his face, that inquisitiveness when you step toward him, fades immediately. Like all the emotion leaves his face when he looks at Tulpa. And he says, save you. No, but you're still alive for the time being. Not much longer, perhaps. He says, I thought the least I could do was to give you a chance, now that I can remember things more clearly.
That's good to hear. What do you remember?
Yeah, he turns back.
Your name, maybe.
He turns back towards the trees, and he says, "Name." He kind of like starts to walk towards the trees, kind of curiously. He says, "Her name's so important to you." He says, your people." Ikafa Shaw says. He says, "Your people used to speak to me in the fire. Names. You can call me Immix, I suppose." He gets closer and closer to the tree.
Is there any reason that would trigger any knowledge in Vash?
I don't know. I guess you can make a roll like history or maybe Arcana or religion, considering like the kinds of religions you've seen.
History, Arcana, religion. Okay. Go history.
Immix is a powerful fire entity. Your people didn't know them as fragments of Aed, perhaps. But if there was something that could be a candidate for something like that, Immix certainly would be. However, the stories that you've heard aren't good. They don't paint Immix in a favorable light. He's always depicted as like the fire that consumes all things at the end of the world, or yeah, I mean, he's primal. He's like fire's primal rage against the gods. Yeah.
So
it's
dangerous.
It's not. He's not like a good guy for sure. No.
Yeah.
He's pretty dangerous. Yeah.
Okay.
You see him,
and
get closer.
he
like steps closer to the tree and he like starts to reach out for like one of the branches. Almost like it's almost like uncomfortable. Like the way he like reaches out for it, it's almost like ferocious, kind of like he's about to eat a big meal. Maybe he like licks his lips as he does so. Anyways, you're gonna do a thing.
I was just gonna ask. He seems very like, based on his, just like the attitude he's exuding, he seems very confident and like.
Yeah. He's not concerned about you at all. Like, he keeps turning his back to you, right? Like he's not afraid you're gonna like stab him in the back or like cast a spell. He doesn't seem to be afraid of you.
Do any of the stories about Immix say anything about his personality besides the fact that he's, dangerous and like an all-consuming fire?
Not with a 12. But if you want to make like a religion or arcana check, you can try one of those other rolls.
Try that in a minute, maybe. So he's reaching for the tree.
Yeah, he's reaching for it for sure.
I think Vash kind of knows what's going to happen when he touches it. I'll just wait and let him. I'm going to be quiet for a minute.
So he reaches out and touches the tree, and of course it ignites like as soon as he makes contact with it, and his face lights up with glee, as it does so, and he sort of like we hear the tree go up in flames, and he like takes a step back, and smiles in delight, and sort of like watches it burn as the fire like quickly spreads over the whole tree. He sort of like tilts his head to the side, and he says, "They burn so well, don't you think?"
They do, although they're not exactly real.
No, not here. But there are others like these where you come from, right?
There are.
How many?
Great deal.
Yeah. Just like his eyes are like light up with delight. He like takes a step closer to the two of you.
Now that you have your memories back, do you recall how you were imprisoned or why?
He nods. And he kind of like smiles. Oh, I'm sorry. You want me to tell you?
If you'd like to.
He says, surely you know we're not here to talk about me. He takes another step closer.
Vash just kind of, he's got his bearings a little bit, and he's trying to keep a straight face now. He kind of tilts his head and says, "Oh, you want to know about me?"
He says, well, I did say that I would give you a chance, didn't I? Why should I let you live? He like looks towards Tulpa, and his gaze settles on him for a moment. His face kind of growing more stern the longer he looks at him.
I guess Tulpa never responded to the message, did he?
What was the message again?
It was, can he see you and can he make it so he can't?
Yeah, I mean, he says he seems to be able to see me. There's nothing I can do about that. I don't think.
No. All right. But, I mean, I did set you free. At the very least, I suppose eye for an eye could do the same.
You did set me free, I suppose. But That's why you're still here. It earned you a chance. You misled me. He like holds up a finger and kind of wags it at you.
How so?
You didn't tell me that you work for the Arcana.
Because I don't.
He like kind of like snarls when you say this. Arrogant mortal. He sniffs out at the air. He says, you have the stench of the tower on you. And he kind of grins. You killed one of them, didn't you? You don't say anything. He goes,
Whoops, I was muted.
okay.
Vash says, very recently, yeah. I'm not sure there's any better evidence that I don't work for him than that. With them. Sometimes. If they suit my goals. Not for him.
Insight's wisdom, right?
Yes.
He says, he says, well, the tower has its own plans. There must be something going on if you still have their blessing after doing something as heretic as that. He kind of like
The tower.
he has this proud look on his face, like it's always like like cocky that he was able to figure that out, you know, like, oh, look at me, I'm so smart.
Okay.
Oh, I rolled that in
Vash will-
secret. My bad. I didn't mean
Sorry.
to roll it. I didn't mean to roll it in secret. Stream can see it. It's fine.
Vash will just nod his head and say, aye, tower has plans. For the moment. We're working together.
Yeah,
You could
he snarls.
work with us.
Yeah, he takes a step back.
Boy.
He like you see this look of anger on his face when you say that, and like disgust. And he says, "Work for them? No, only a fool would do that. They've all got to burn, Vash. Don't you know?
The Arcana.
Everything."
I would tend to agree.
And he says, good. Then you understand the only way that you make it out of here alive is to acquiesce to me, then. He looks down his nose at you.
Vash's eyebrows just kind of like raise up. Acquiesce in what way? I'm happy to help you. I already did.
The tower will stand in my way. I may be free of that cage, but the war is just starting. You serve me now, if you want to live. I am generous god.
Serve you how? What would you have me do if I did?
Well, first, I need you to forsake the tower. Help me burn them from the sky. Anything else that stands in our way. And if you are lucky, if you serve me well, I'll save you for last, for my blessing. Kind of like grins. He's basically saying, like, I'll burn you last.
Right. That's not a wholly terrible deal. You'd start with the tower. From what I've seen, they're fairly powerful. And they are currently trying to kill the Arcana themselves. Wouldn't they make an ally? Save them for last.
Like, you keep on suggesting to ally with the tower. Every time you even mention this, like,
I know.
You're making him more and more angry.
Okay.
There's almost this...
Visibly, like, it's obvious.
Yeah, like at this time, he
Okay.
almost like lashes out at you, but he like stops himself. He's like just managing to hold his temper in check. And he says, and the biggest threat, if they are making plans like this, we have to kill them first.
Yet. If it's obvious that this talk is making him angry, and he seems... Even the Forgotten One never actually came into this place, right? It was just mental communication. It's only ever been Vash and Tulpa in here, right?
I think so, yeah.
Cool. Okay. Vash will unfold his arms, and he'll give a slight kind of like bow of his head and upper chest and just, I agree then.
Yeah, he takes a step forward and he says, really? That easily?
I've no love for the tower. It's just been useful. I want to see the Arcana burn. If that's your goal as well, then I'm happy to help. And if we do that, I don't care what happens to me.
He like tilts his head to the side as he like studies you. He's like watching your face as you talk, right? Are you trying to mislead him? I mean,
No,
I guess you
think
can make
everything...
you can make a deception or persuasion maybe against that.
I'm not very good at either one of those, but I don't think anything I said was a lie.
Okay. He says,
Oh, that's perception, not persuasion.
you can keep the natural 12. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So take the nat 20 then. Yeah, okay. He says, This is true. How do I know you won't stab me in the back?
But if I wanted to. Surely you're far more powerful than I.
Yeah, he takes a step toward you again, and the heat intensifies. Yeah, you're within 10 feet.
Tulpa, back up.
Fire aura. At the start of each of him is his turn. Each creature within 10 feet of him takes 5d6 damage.
Yeah.
Flammable objects in the aura that aren't being worn or carried ignite. Creature also takes damage if it touches Immix or hits him with a melee attack while within 10 feet. So I guess I just roll damage on you. It's only 5d6
Yep.
though. It's not like it's.
I take half. So
Yeah.
Helpful.
As like you and Tulpa.
A high roll.
Yeah, you rolled pretty high on that. As you and Tulpa both take 21 fire, it's half for you, so it'd be 10. Do you try to stand there, or do you like back up? Like, what do you do?
Does it like? Is he watching me for a reaction? Does it seem like he's studying me?
Make an insight check.
Okay. There we go. Yes.
Yes.
He's waiting for a reaction.
Yeah.
I will mentally tell Tulpa, hold still, and I will do the same. Keep
Yeah.
I'm telling Tulpa, don't just let him see that he's hurting you.
Yeah. So you both like wince in pain, and we see like steam coming off of your skin. We can see your skin beginning to redden. The already singed parts of your robes like dry up and like curl in on themselves as like you just blasted with this flame. Immix grins and like watches you, and you don't move. And he says, "There is some tenacity here, then."
Not the first time I've been burned. It won't be the last, hopefully.
Yeah, he takes a step forward again. So
Good.
the damage continues. For another 16. All right. So 8 for you.
I'll have Vash like put an arm up, not throw it up, but just put an arm up in front of his eyes, kind of trying to show him that it is hurting, because he seems like he's enjoying it, right?
Yeah.
Like dominating us. Okay.
Yeah, and he's also like trying to see how strong you are, sort of.
Yeah.
Like just trying to see.
Vash is gonna overplay it a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Make a performance check.
Oh God, no! I said a little bit.
Or it can be deception, I suppose.
Oof.
Are you any better at deception?
Nope.
Okay, so 4 it is. Okay, so yeah, now he kind of like you see him watching you, and he like turns over to Tulpa. Tulpa's is a bit more realistic, I think, and he seems like angry. Like he starts to get mad.
When he looks at Tulpa, can Vash very quickly, "We'll serve you." Trying to draw his attention back to me.
Yeah. So he does this thing where he like stares down Tulpa. He's like really giving him mean eyes, and you're like, "We'll serve you," and you try to pull his attention away, and he does look at you for a moment, and he cocks his head to the side, and he turns to Tulpa again, and he says, "You have concern for this one."
He's talking to me, or he's talking to Tulpa?
He's talking to you. He's gesturing to Tulpa.
Or Yes, he's part of me.
Yeah, he grins. He reaches out a hand and grabs Tulpa by the collar. Where his hand makes contact, there's just like a singeing sound. We see like bits of the clothes he's wearing start to ignite, as he like just cries out louder in pain. He takes significantly more damage.
So he like grabs him.
Yeah, he grabs him.
Does it seem like he's going to try and kill him, or does he? Is he showing his hand on what he's going to do?
It seems like he's going to pull him away from you.
Okay. I need him. If you get rid of him, I'm fairly useless.
Tulpa takes 33 fire damage.
If you want a powerful servant,
see, like,
I need him.
In pain. We see like steam starting to come out of like Tulpa's eyes as he's like just like screaming up to the sky. Yeah, he whips Tulpa around to the other side of him. And you're like, I need him, or whatever. I'm useless without him. And he says, perhaps you have something else to give. It's tribute.
Such as? Name it, and if I can, I will.
Yeah, he throws Tulpa back. And then he Tulpa like stumbles back a few feet and kind of like falls to the ground, and he's just like trying to catch his breath. He's clearly burned. Like, you can see now, like once he lets go of him, there's like this huge burn mark on like near his neck where he had grabbed his collar. Like the skin like melted. And he focuses his attention on you. You're gonna take some more damage because he's still in proximity. Yeah, he studies you for a moment, and he says, "It was my understanding." Like sort of like walks around you as he like monologues. That Aed took tribute for such things. Sacrifice to the flame to prove loyalty. He like studies you, and he's like,
Vash is just gritting his teeth, trying to hold still through the pain.
yeah, he's like, what is it that you care about most? And he kind of like closes his eyes, and he says, besides your new god, of course. He'll make an insight check. 16. He's rolling pretty good on these. Like, wisdom's not his best thing, but he's not doing terrible on these.
Yeah, great.
And he says, he like kind of like sniffs at you, like, perhaps you don't care for the tower. It's good.
Can I do something at this point?
Yeah, you can. You can.
As he's monologuing?
Yeah.
When he says, perhaps you don't care for the tower, Vash says, I've always had a connection with fire, and he'll summon the wildfire spirit on his shoulder.
Okay, pull it onto the... Yeah, okay. So yeah,
for some reason.
The bird appears on your shoulder, like protecting you, kind of dealio. And yeah, he smiles at this, and he says, he kind of like grins, and he says, Yes, you have a connection with the flame. Your people always did. He like looks at the bird. He looks at Tulpa. And he says, there's always issue too, isn't there? Like keeps circling you both. And he
In what way?
He says, so many offerings. Which to choose?
Surely if you're looking for servants, then you wouldn't want issue. I mean, if you're looking for sacrifices, you wouldn't want issue. He already wants to serve you, and he doesn't even know who you are.
Yeah, he like considers this. You're gonna take some more damage.
Yay.
Another 8. Not too bad. And yeah, I know you're starting to get
Looking pretty toasty at this point.
sun's getting low there, big guy. And yeah, he says, this is true, I suppose. He does carry my blood, but he is lesser. He says, the only thing I can see that is even less so, and he like looks towards Tulpa. He like snarls. The bush beside Tulpa catches fire. It's like, and like Tulpa like stumbles up and like scoots back. You know, it startles him. He like scoots back away from the bush, and Immix goes, pale imitation, copy of a traitor, disgusting. Yeah, he says, he keeps circling you and he says, I would so enjoy killing that one. Like, talking about Tulpa.
How about a tribute of a different form? Mark me. So it's very obvious who I serve.
Make a persuasion check.
Yep.
$16. It's pretty good. Especially when you get a +0. Yeah, he like reaches a hand out towards your face, and you feel like the heat start to increase severely. And then he takes a step back as he kind of like arms himself, and he says, "Yeah, the flame that's been burning at you this whole time kind of subsides slightly." And he says, "Kill you so soon? No. I think you'd be much more useful to me alive. I'll give you my mark when you can survive it."
Well, what is my first order? What'd you have me do?
Yeah, you're like, so what do you want me to do? And he's like, he kind of like, he holds a hand to his chin, he looks up in the air like he's thinking, right? Like he's looking, and then you see this look on his face, and it's almost like he doesn't realize it, but you realize it, like, watching him. He hasn't even considered this. Like, he hasn't even, like, he's doing all this on a whim. Like, he hasn't even considered what he wants you to do, just that he wants you to serve him. Like, in his mind, it's almost like he didn't think you would say yes, or, like, most people don't say yes, and he just kills them, right? And so he's actually, like, thinking about this for the first time. You can see it all over his face. If you want to do anything with that information, you can. So, like, takes a minute to...
So he seems surprised and unsure of even what he would want me to do.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Okay. Vash will seize on this. Perhaps continue in my mission to kill the Arcana.
Very good in character, like, trepidation. Go ahead and take 2 XP. You're doing a good job of RP here. Yeah, he seems to nod at this, and he says, yes, they've all got to burn. The tower first. Gather my armies. I must still have worshippers in the world. Surely there's some who still curl up to the fire at night. I
have heard tale of a fiery being, a dragon, in a mountain with some dwarves, perhaps. And then Vash will just trail off there.
He says, he kind of has a look of disappointment on his face, and he's like, "That's me, you idiot. You're supposed to be smarter than this. Dwarves don't have me anymore." First target for our armies. The tower is gathering forces, I take it.
Who combat the Arcana in the flesh, yeah.
Wait. What? The flesh. What is this?
Oh, 1 second. I gotta check my notes for something. Because Vash knows the name of it and I can't remember it. Gulhun? The flesh? It's been infecting the world, attacking the Arcana.
Now things start to make sense. She's back. This is what the tower is trying to prevent, yes?
From what it's told me.
So much to burn. We attack them all. We gather our forces, and we attack all of them at the same time. They all burn. I'll sweep over the world like a great firestorm. Sounds dumb, Vash. Like,
I know it does, but
well, okay, just making sure I didn't have to tell you.
Does it seem, because the last time that Vash suggested something, he seemed pretty dismissive of it. Does it seem, is there any way to tell how he would react to more suggestions?
Now that he's trying to, like, plot things, make an insight check.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a little while. Okay. He seems like, now that he's actually trying to plan things, he almost seems like insecure, I guess is one way to put it. Like, he's not good at strategy. You can tell he's got like a a fire in his belly, right? Like he knows what he wants to do. He wants to burn everyone and everything. It's just the means of getting there. And like he's just like, yeah, whatever, burn it all. I don't care. I'll just attack them all at once. I'm obviously greater because I exist and I'm free now, so I'm obviously stronger than everything else there is. He's dumb. He's really dumb. And he's gonna get himself killed.
While I'm sure that you could destroy everyone, all of them at once, wouldn't it be more fun to draw it out and take them one by one? Savor it a bit.
Oh, that's good.
Let the others know fear first.
Yeah, make a persuasion check with advantage.
It's not going to help me much. That did not roll with advantage for some reason.
Yeah, just roll again. It's fine. 19 is better.
Click it down. It's just weird.
I don't know. Let's roll 20, man.
Yeah.
He goes, yes. Yes. Make them fear when they see their friends burning. Screaming out for mercy, but there will be none.
And surely with that method, you'll find even more willing to follow you. Praise you as the god you are.
He shrugs. He says, if they do not follow, they die. Those who are loyal, they'll live the longest. He pauses for a moment. And then he's looking at you. And he keeps looking at the bird. And he says, this flame within you does burn quite bright. He takes a step closer to you again.
I'll have the bird, kind of sit up on Vash's shoulders and spread its wings wide.
Yeah, so the bird takes a defensive posture when he steps forward. He is agitated by this immediately.
I was trying to make it look impressive, but
oh, okay. All right.
Sort of like peacocking almost.
Okay. All right. Well, you're gonna take some damage.
Pity.
8. Not bad. Not bad. You got 16 left. So the bird tries to make itself look impressive. Make a performance check as the bird, or deception, or persuasion, I guess. Any of those things.
Hey.
No, it's probably not good at any of those things.
No, it's not. Performance, those are all charisma, so.
9.
Yes.
Yeah, he says, he kind of snarls, and he says, perhaps I was mistaken. This flame is weak. And he reaches out and grabs the bird. There's the bird squawks, and there's this choking sound as he pulls the bird off of you. It's flapping around and starts to scream out, and it's trying to get away from him, but he's got a solid grip on it. So he rips it away from you, holds it out.
There's a moment where Vash kind of starts forward to do something and then stops and controls himself.
Yeah. And he holds the bird out, and he it keeps squirming and trying to get free, and he pulls it a little bit further back from you, just so you're not still in the aura. We see him he crunches his fist down around the bird's neck. There's a snap, and the bird goes limp and starts to we see the flame that it's made of start to be pulled into his body, like through his hand and arm. And there's like this brief exchange of light as the bird disappears from existence. And then he like smiles, kind of like satisfied. And he looks over to you and he says, "See? They all acquiesce one way or another."
She's just quiet, silent, controlling anger.
yeah. This like look of restrained rage. It's like sweep across your face. And he says, "So, who do you think we should attack first?"
If it was me, right now everybody's fighting everybody. Flesh is fighting everything. The tower wants to kill all the Arcana. We have the same goals. I would say start with someone else. Let them weaken each other. Let them all know who's really in charge.
Start with someone else? That's what you said?
Yeah. He doesn't... I don't think Vash names anyone in particular. Like, any Arcana in particular.
Yeah, he says, he doesn't seem satisfied with this answer.
Did he... Sorry, question. Before, when he was mentioning us killing, or like, sensing that I've killed an Arcana, did he mention the Arcana's name?
No, he didn't.
Okay, then Vash will pipe up. Death is already out of the picture. And I don't think Vash knew that the other one was Judgment, to be fair, so...
Okay. He, like, works, eyebrow at this.
Finished him off today.
The tower did this.
No. We did. Me and my group.
He like pauses for a moment, as if he's considering.
With them and the tools I've accumulated, we're fairly powerful. I'm willing to serve.
He says, tower seems to be the strongest. It would make sense to strike them first.
When I was with the tower, did I get any sense that it was afraid or like even respectful of the power of the flesh? From what Nernum said?
I mean, from all of your interactions with the tower up to this point, certainly. Yeah. I mean, they're taking the threat of the flesh very seriously, right? Yeah, I mean, as far as, like, meeting the tower itself, no. Like, the tower itself is not afraid of anything.
I didn't figure, yeah.
But, at the very least, they take the threat extremely seriously. Like, this is the greatest threat. And ultimately, our goal is to wipe out that threat. And the problem is that all these other threats are working with it, or inadvertently being used by it. And so we're going to wipe out everything to fix that. We're going to, like, wipe the whole slate clean and start over. That's sort of the idea.
So Vash is going to try and look somewhat surprised. I'm not even going to attempt a deception check. I'm not trying to deceive him. Just a little bit of, like, like, "Are you sure?" type of look on his face, and then say, "The tower seemed most wary of the flesh, Gulhoon." It's been eating or consuming whatever it does rapidly on multiple different worlds.
Yes, perhaps we can burn Gloon. Maybe take some of its power to use against the Arcana. Show them that we are strong enough to destroy their greatest enemy, and that they stand no chance.
And flesh burns, does it not?
Everything.
It's a lot of fuel.
Everything burns. He he keeps watching you, kind of like walking around you.
First time that he turns his back, I want to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Yeah. I think
Not like circumspectly, I'm just like waiting for his attention to be slightly elsewhere.
I mean, he'll hear you do it, right? But
right, it has a verbal component.
Yeah, it's fine. You can do that. So like he looks towards the flames that are on the tree and the bush and stuff as the flames kind of like he just like kind of watches them as they like flicker up and dance. Yeah, he turns away from you. I'll give you time to cast Cure Wounds on yourself. Sure.
Actually, instead of Cure Wounds, I'll cast is this it? No, that is not the right thing. Sorry. That one. Or Vitality.
Okay.
Only it's not linking for some reason.
Is it broke?
Just giving me
it's like linking.
It's totally broke.
Blank lines.
Yeah.
Let me see.
So it is healing energy radiates from you in an aura within a 30-foot radius until the spawns. The aura moves with you, centered on you. You can use a bonus action to cause one creature in the aura, including you, to regain 2d6 hit points.
Yeah, can you just copy
Last a minute.
Copy the text and paste it in the chat?
Yeah.
Will that work?
Oops. Maybe.
Boom. All right. Or then 30-foot radius. So you're trying to heal Tulpa too, basically, right?
Nope. Just me to start.
Oh, okay. Spell is it or more use with you center on you can use. Okay.
But it lasts a minute, so I'll be able to do it 10 times. So I will, like, once Vash gets to a certain point, probably he'll start healing Tulpa.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Just not to start, and because he's kind of seeing how Immix reacts to this, or if there's any anger or anything.
No, I don't think he does. I don't think he reacts at all. It's like his reaction is like, "Oh, you're just breathing," or whatever. Like the same thing. Doesn't concern him. Yeah, so you recover some HPs. Yeah, he's like watching the flame, and he says, "I do sense the flesh close by on the world. It grows in power. This is true." And he says, he turns back towards you as like the flames flicker behind him, kind of giving him this like sinister silhouette. And he says, "You wish to take my mark, then?"
Will I survive it?
My blessing. He says, "If you are strong." Are you strong, Vash?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can stall him to buy more time if you want.
Yeah. I'm as strong as I can be. And from what I've seen of you, your blessing can only make me stronger.
He says, to spare your life so that you may lead my army, I will have to send you somewhere else. Or the explosion.
Somewhere else?
The explosion will kill you.
Is that... It's still happening.
He nods. Like you look down
Wherever you need me.
You look down at your cloak. Like you're healing, right? Like you're recovering your HP, but you look down at your cloak and it's still, you realize like it's more singed than it was. Even like since the last time he stepped away from you. Like it's slowly, very slowly becoming more and more singed.
Just had that repaired.
you're I mean, it's not like, you know, this is, so far it's just cosmetic or whatever. It's
right.
You know, it might even make it look cooler. Who knows? Kind of like kids with their acid wash jeans or whatever. I guess, I don't know. Yeah. In like maybe your face starts to feel more swollen slightly as like you realize that, yeah, like in here we're having time to talk. But in, you know, in the real, like that explosion has just happened and it's like happening now. And like your face is,
okay.
Yeah, it's cooking.
I wasn't sure if Vash would necessarily pick up on that, but if he keeps referring to it, obviously, eventually he would.
Yeah.
There is another idea.
Yeah, he looks kind of satisfied and kind of like cocky, and he says, "Oh, what would that be?"
You could pit the flesh and the tower against each other and start consuming the others to begin with. Rewording the same suggestion in a different way. Hopefully he doesn't notice.
Make a persuasion check. Just roll good. There you go. 19.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So he he seems to be more agreeable to it now. He says, perhaps to Tulpa. Okay. Yeah. He says, perhaps this would work.
Empress, the Emperor, the Chariot, Justice even. They'd all make fine candidates.
Yeah, he nods. And he says, I'll need a prophet of sorts to start gathering our forces on the world. To be ready to march against creation, the court. It's like, basically like, yeah, you're gonna go get all my fire cult people, and you're gonna make them an army, and you're gonna go into the capital of the world and lay siege to somebody's temple and armies, and like do assassin fire cultist stuff. And yeah, that's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna kill these people. We're gonna burn their temples to the ground.
I'd be glad to. But on my own?
No, he shakes his head. No. every fire you light, I will be there as well. And when the time is right, I'll reveal my avatar on the world. Bring destruction to the court. Weaken them all. Consume them with fire. Like, he keeps on going into it. It's like carried away.
Yeah. He seems happy to monologue as long as I'll let him.
Yeah. And then, he pauses and kind of like takes a step back. And we see like the fires go out. And the ones that he's already lit so far. Let me see here. This one. And then that one. There we go. Yeah, so we see like he like takes a step back and the flames go out. As the flames do go out, you notice that like the whole area starts to get dimmer. Like this, almost like the light is being pulled from the sky itself. As darkness sweeps through the area. It just gets darker and darker until it's pitch black. However, you now have dark vision, 120 feet, right? So, set that up for you. And I'll have to pull. I guess I won't. Since it's 120 feet, you should be able to see the whole map now, right?
Oh, has the stream been staring at a black screen?
Not this whole time. No. It just happened because I turned the daylight dynamic lighting on. And I'm about to just turn it back off instead of pulling Odayn's token over here. But I just want to make sure. Go ahead. We just like to communicate that to the audience. Like we see it get really dark, and then you realize that you can see in the dark now. I guess, right? Isn't that how it works?
Oh.
So let me turn the dynamic lighting back off, back off because you can see. So like you're standing there in the dark and he's just like looking at you. And then he lunges towards you quickly. Very quickly.
Take that last one to Tulpa too.
And okay, all right. I'll give that to Tulpa. All right. 8. Okay. All right. And he like grabs you by like the shoulder, like pick a shoulder, left or right.
Right.
Okay, so he grabs you by your right shoulder. So he reaches out his left hand, grabs you by the shoulder, and kind of like the collarbone too. Like he's got these big dragonborn hands, so they sort of like drape over the top of your shoulder and almost like down your back a bit. And he digs his thumb in like underneath the edge of your collarbone and just lifts you up off the ground. Like there's this sizzling yeah. You just like one hand grabs you and there's like this sizzling sound as you hear your skin start to burn. You can smell it too as it burns through like your clothing. And he just like grabs you and like lifts you up off the ground for like a foot or two. And he's like holding you there. It's like looking at you. And the pain's pretty intense. So
Vash is gonna try and grab his wrist with both of his hands. Not to like pry it off, but just to like hold on to it.
Okay, yeah. So you reach up to grab his,
just kind of in a reaction,
his wrist instinctively, and like we see your hands start to cook too. As soon as you make contact, we see your like hands start to cook, and we see this like these burn scars appearing on your shoulder and like collarbone, back area, and on your hands, like where you grab them as the skin starts to melt. You're probably like screaming out in pain too. Now he's not gonna do lethal damage here, but just in case, he's trying not to kill you, but he is giving you his mark.
Fun times.
Now you have that. You have that because
I'm still alive.
Yeah. You have 5. There's only 35 damage. It's 71. Now it's a legitimate attack he has that I'm using for this. So I just wanted to make sure we try to do it by the book. He rolled a couple 1s in there. There's a couple 6s, but there's a couple 1s. So 35 damage you take. So it almost kills you. So you feel it like
Fairly
just
close,
cooking you. Maybe like your the ability is called combustion. So
I was gonna say that Vash would try and grit his teeth, but if it's that much damage, he probably does scream.
Yeah, we see you literally like burst into flame. Like your body ignites. Okay. You're like it's like he's holding a big old candle now in his hand as you like catch fire. And you're like gritting through the pain. And as he does this, like the very same instant that you catch fire, everything else here also catches fire. As we see all the trees start to burn, all the bushes, everything. I don't know why some of the flame is under the tree. I don't know. That's weird. It wasn't like that in testing, but whatever. Everything cooks and ignites. And he asks you one last time, like, where should I send you while you're like cooking and screaming in pain?
Can I to my
actually,
Vash,
maybe...
I'm not gonna try and scream it, but Vash will say to my group, I guess. I don't know.
I was actually thinking maybe we just end the scene there. Like we just see him grab you and like lift you off the ground. You ignite. You burst into flames. And
he's kind of asking himself.
Yeah, and he's like, "Now, where do I send you?" And he's more or less talking to himself than you.
Okay.
And then like that's where the scene ends. For you.
Cool. Still don't know if I'm alive.
Wow, it's been 2 hours already.
I've been worried that if Vash did survive, that he would just get teleported to that volcano that in the last session flew up, and it'd be like, well, I guess that's how he gets back to the normal world.
I was kind of wondering if you're gonna like tell him, hey, send me to the Feywild, because oh man, if he could get let loose in the Feywild, he'd have a field day. There is so much to burn.
Would be so mad.
So yeah, I don't know, like how you feel about that, Wolf? Everybody, how you guys feel about that? How that worked out? Is it good? Is he alive?
If he's still alive, that's good. But I feel bad that well, he kind of put it on himself, so you know.
He did get up.
He did get warned by everybody, like, "Hey, you should not do that."
Don't listen to you fools.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out here in a little bit. Why don't we go ahead and take our break, and then when we come back, we'll pick up with everybody else. and we'll see where.
Oh boy.
We'll see where they teleported to, and what's going on.
Does the audience know what happened to Agape?
No,
Yeah.
that's a good question.
Okay, actually, yeah, maybe that's how we should end this bit. So we end this scene with seeing him lift up Vash and like all that stuff, and then we cut. So I'll let the audience see what happens to Agape now. I was thinking about doing this later, but it's fine. We cut to that hallway where Vash had opened the door. We cut to that moment that froze, that slowed down and froze, where we saw the explosion coming out of the room, the door being knocked off the handle, and Vash standing there like his pupil dilating. We see all that again, so we see that moment frozen in time again, and then Vash disappears in a puff of smoke. The explosion continues, and so like he disappears, and there's like a puff of smoke, and then the room starts to explode again, and we see Agape like standing at the edge of this room as the flame washes towards him and envelops him, and he dies. He is killed. He is killed by fire.
He didn't teleport
I
away.
killed the unicorn is dead. The unicorn is dead. All right. Yeah, so we see, I mean, and we see it happen, right? We don't just see like the fire wash over him and then we don't know. We see him cook. Yeah. Like we see him burn to ash as the fire washes over him, because he was going to wait to try to make sure he could save Vash.
Aww.
So
I
feel
don't know how unicorn would react compared to a horse, but man, horses that get stuck in stable fires, like that, he must have made some really awful noises of pain. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it probably would have been like, because he's a telepath, right? So it probably would have been mostly like mental projections of just agony and stuff. But I don't know. Agape is pretty enlightened. Maybe maybe it's more like that. Oh gosh, this is a terrible thing to bring up, but that monk who lit himself on fire, who just like stayed still, Ugh. Okay. Trying to think about that. Anyways, good show, guys. We'll be back in a few minutes. Take a quick bathroom break, get yourself something to drink, and yeah, when we come back, we'll pick up with everybody else, and we'll see how they're doing with everything that's going on. Cool?
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back in a few minutes. See you guys in just a second.
Right.
I am here. Hey. Are you guys back yet?
I'm back.
Yeah.
All right. Looks.
Yep.
Is Ferdy here?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Well, let's see about the rest of you guys here. So, let me just get a couple more things in place here. So, how are you guys feeling about the sessions so far? Feeling good? Everything going well for you guys? Vash, how are you doing?
Feeling a little singed.
You guys aren't too upset with me for killing Agape, are you?
No, we're upset with
the
Vash
healing
because
and
he
spell
didn't
slots were
wait.
nice.
I did not kill
Because
unicorn.
Vash didn't wait for Agape to leave before he opened the door.
Needed a ride out. That was not how I expected that to go.
I mean,
How did you expect it to go?
I was hoping that the thing would just be like, hey, thanks for... I didn't think it was one of the evil aspects to start. I actually thought it was one of the, like, maybe a neutral one or a good one from the way it was acting without its memories, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I didn't remember who it was, right?
Yeah. So I was hoping it would just be thankful, and then we'd have an ally in the future.
I mean, you do kind of have an ally, right?
We do. I do. Yeah.
Now
all I have to do is feed it Tinder.
the second you betray him, you're gonna be a pillar of ash. But yeah. So there's that. All right. Well, everyone else. This will be fun. Oh man, this is gonna look. I really love the way this looks. So this is gonna look really cool. I think. I mean, you guys can let me know what you think when you see it. But I think this looks really cool. Let me just fix Sha'ah's thing here.
I just want to confirm, just in case we're going into combat. Abachai has not been answered by Seraphina and does not have any of his paladin or cleric powers back, rather.
He should now.
Right? Oh, he should? So
yeah, because you guys killed Death. So he's got him back. He just he hasn't really realized that yet.
Okay.
I did say that the second, like, if you guys manage to kill Death, I did say that the moment you do, she takes the throne.
Right.
And that
I just wasn't sure if she would accept him as a cleric, I guess.
That's fair. I could be like, hey, Ferdy, does Seraphina accept him? Now, because it's like he had this whole thing for you, and you didn't have the same thing for him. So that would kind of make sense. What do you think, Ferdy?
I think if he's really devoted for her, then I think he could be like upgraded to like a level of saint for whatever
Yeah, he could be like your Bodhisattva.
yeah.
Or yeah. I mean, that's kind of that would be dope. We'll see. I mean, I think that great idea. All right. So.
Also, did most of the party just make it out of that fight with Death with like full HP, or did Ishu and Abachai not get to use?
I think you guys
dice
healed
or something.
I think you guys, those of you who
Issue's at half health.
I think some people drank potions, but I know Orilyn didn't get damage taken.
Yeah, I know we haven't had. There hasn't been time for a short rest since the whole place
I
started
didn't
collapsing.
take damage either.
Everybody's. I'm looking at the map that it happened on right now, and it looks like everybody's at decent health. I mean, the dragon was wounded a bit. Agape
didn't remember.
Agape had 7 health. There. Ishu has 49 out of 77 health on that map.
I have 70 out of 75.
Yeah, it looks like it's all correct.
5 damage.
Okay. I just wasn't sure. So.
I know a couple of you got hit by it, right? Like,
yeah, but I think we healed up.
Yeah,
there was
because we had some potions.
There was the whole thing where its damage took away your max HP, though, right?
But that was only Agape.
Agape is the one
only
that got
Agape
hit
got hit by that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then
he's
last day.
And then Fea's the only one who actually got like completely demolished in that fight. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you guys did pretty good in that fight, so. Okay. All right. Well, now that I'm done checking on that, let me get this. I don't need that sheet right now. And I guess I don't need to have it's a weird feeling, like I don't have to have Ishu or Abachai or Melora's sheet pulled up, and I just feel like I'm supposed to be doing something. But I think we're ready to go. I keep feeling like we're not ready to go, but I think we're ready to go. All right. So we fade in to a like a stone circular like platform. As the camera pans out, we see like stone organized around it. There is some kind of cracks in the stone around it where we can see like the ground. The ground here is it looks like a whitish or gray sand, kind of, or like powder, like it could be like stone powder, but there's not soil coming through. As the camera pans out further, we see like a circle of crystals around this sort of like stone platform. And then as it pans out further above the scene, we see like some flesh plants kind of growing through in bits of this sand. And then we see like a circular concrete ring and some pillars. And then we see like the edges of the limbs of these like dead flesh trees with no leaves growing on them. And then a bunch of people appear in the center of the circle. Some familiar faces. Now, can everyone see?
I can see.
Yeah.
Yes. But Faye's not there because I haven't
yeah.
resummoned it.
Copy paste. Copy pasta.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
What is Melora's green dot?
I think it was in Bond, or was it? I don't know. Maybe it was.
I think it was something from Sha'ah that has expired.
Okay.
Yeah, everything's
Probably faded by
expired.
now.
All right.
Yeah.
So we see you guys all appear in this circle. The crystals lit up as you look around. Off in the distance, Orilyn, you do recognize, you've been to Mithrandain, right?
I mean, if it's near Oberon's palace, then she's most likely
Yeah, it's pretty close.
been there.
It's probably like the biggest like settlement nearby.
Mm-hmm.
Or city or whatever. I don't like calling it a city because it's just I mean,
They don't really have cities.
Yeah. All right. You do recognize it, but everything is like overgrown with flesh. All of the big trees that people live in, off in the distance, it's all like taken over by flesh corruption. Even the sky is like a reddish, like a dark reddish color here. As you guys like appear in this circle. The crystals, the lights stay on. We see you guys like sort of appear there, looking around. And then you hear someone go. Before someone on the other side of you reveals themselves, hiding behind a log here. And then hurls something towards you guys. Towards it looks like she's throwing something toward you all.
Does it like
a
land on the
weapon?
ground? Does it land on the ground? Does it hit one of us?
Okay.
Or
all right. Well, you guys just gonna wait and see what it does.
No, what does the something look like?
What's your passive perception?
Mine's 14.
Okay.
9.
Not
17.
Is like
I
above
love you,
20,
Shu.
isn't it?
Minus 17.
That's 24.
Is Issues really 9?
It's really 9, yeah. He's got a negative 1.
Wow. Okay. What'd you say, Sha'ah? 24?
Minus 12.
Yeah, 24.
Yours, Tim, you say it's 20 what?
12.
Oh, 12. I thought you said... Okay, all right. All right, Sha'ah, so you're the only one who gets a look at this thing. And it's a glowing rock she's chucking toward you all.
She threw it at us.
Yeah, I mean,
I won't shoot her.
it's leaving her hand right now. I mean, I'm just in case you guys have a reaction or something that you can do.
I'll try to catch it.
All right. So the whistle, Sha'ah, you have really high passive. The whistle came from over here, and actually, I'm gonna go ahead and show you this guy because your passive is so dang high. This guy, this guy, and this guy. Nobody else knows they're there, but Sha'ah, you've seen them. So it's a bunch of just for the viewers. So here, let me be a proper DM and do this like I'm supposed to do. Did I put her on the map layer by accident? I did. I'm smart. All right. So the lady throwing the thing looks like this. She's throwing the glowing rock. All right, and then you got a bunch of these guys up on top of the pillars. They're about 15 feet off the ground, in like archery positions on you guys. And one of those guys whistled, but there's like 4 of them around. There is also some other people here, Sha'ah, that are hiding behind pillars.
Is it really dark in here, or are those
I
those
thought
like?
the things were glowing.
Yeah, that's
Aren't
right.
they?
The crystals are glowing. Yeah.
Okay.
Why? What's going on?
No, because
Oh,
in
just
case
like
it's super
most of
dark,
us.
I can't see.
Yeah, most of us have dark vision, I think, except Sha'ah.
Yeah, except Shaw.
Oh, you don't have dark vision?
No,
But with the things glowing, how much light are they?
they
actually
emit light, I
giving off?
guess.
They do emit light. That's why you can see on the map. So Sha'ah,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
Sha'ah, if you can see what you can see. So if you can't see the tokens that I reveal, then you can't see them.
Okay,
I see a lot.
I see a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah. But there is dynamic lighting on the map, so you should be able to like properly see because the crystals are lit up. So there's a lot of light sources. So those of you who don't have dark vision, you should be fine. Okay. Let me reveal a couple more, guys. 'Cause you guys are like, oh, there's a lot of people. There's one over here. There's one here. And then this one. These ones who are like on the ground, they're hiding behind these pillars. So I put them in this square just so because like if I move them back, it makes it look like they're up on the platform, and they're not. They're on ground level. So, that is all for now. I believe. Let me make sure. Yeah. Okay. That's everybody. So you got all these people. There's some satyrs. There's some Eladrin, from the looks of them, all sort of like gathered around you guys. And then the one lady with the satyr lady with the staff throws something as somebody on the other side whistles. Sha'ah's like gonna react to catch it, but what happens is like she arcs it towards you guys, so it's like gonna be falling down. She didn't throw it like straight at you like a fast pitch. She kind of arced it up in the air, so it like would fall down approximately like in an arc where you'd be able to catch it where you are. So it'd be like coming down this way. I'm on the wrong layer. You can't see what I'm saying. So it'd be coming down, this way, somewhere over here, so you'd be able to catch it. But it hits something in the air between where you are and where she is, and a field like water ripples out around you guys, and it creates this barrier of like purple light that surrounds you guys. It's almost like a soap bubble. It kind of reminds you of what you saw actually at the staircase in the flesh, where you guys remember where you guys fought the devourer, or not the devourer, the beholder.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where you saw that barrier that it kind of extended around the whole area. This one's much smaller, but it kind of looks like similar to that. That's what happens. So somebody whistles, they throw the thing, and then poof, this barrier kind of comes into effect around you guys. What do you do?
I speak in Sylvan. I utter, I am a follower of the great Sir Nunos, the Lord of the Hunt. We come in peace.
Now I know Eladrin speaks Sylvan, right? Do Satyr?
They speak Sylvan and Elven, I think.
Are they
I
the
don't know
same?
about satyrs. What did Clayus have, Tim? Did he have Sylvan?
Clay spoke Sylvan, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you speak the local dialect. And sorry, Sha'ah, what did you say again? One more time.
I am a follower of Sir Nunos. The Lord of the Hunt. The Horn Lord of the Hunt. I come in peace.
Yeah. These guys like step forward to the edge of the platform. They're raising these crossbows at you guys. And then she steps out from behind the log. And another satyr strodes forward here towards the edge of the barrier. As a couple of these folks start to like meet, kind of gathering at one of the edges. A lot of these people on the ground. They don't respond to what you said.
Can I like make a sweep if I see any of my kind like centaurs around?
Sure. You want to make a perception check?
Okay. Perception. Normal perception.
When Sha'ah says that and they don't seem to like speak, Orilyn will call out in Sylvan, "Can you even hear us?"
Yeah, you call out, "Can you even hear us?" This woman here looks at you when you say that. She kind of like studies you for a moment. Let's see here. Just roll a d20. Ooh. So she stares at you for a moment. Her face like kind of like stoic and unemotional. And then she just continues walking. Also, the other Eladrin, like they seem to look in your direction too. It's kind of hard to see over your friends, but
Yeah.
they kind of like their eyes hang on you for a moment as they walk around. They sort of look at you guys, take you all in.
Odayn's going to say also in Sylvan, my centaur friend here speaks the truth. We're here to revive Oberon. As he puts his hand to his chest. And he walks towards the outside, or the edge of the ring.
Yeah, they sort of like look at you guys, and a couple of them are talking back and forth to each other. Like you hear, let's get a closer look so I can see who I'm talking about here. You hear one of these, like this Eladrin says, I don't know, maybe we should hear them out. And then this guy is like, I don't know what they're doing here. This could be a threat. We should consider that. And then this lady over here who threw the rock is like, she goes, he told us to make sure if anyone came through to do this, keep them in here. We can't trust them. It could be them. And yeah, there's a lot of that going on as they're sort of like going back and forth.
Orilyn will call out, because of this. I am a daughter of the House Favyre, loyal servant and of the great Green Lord Oberon. I demand your help.
Yeah, so you say that. Make a persuasion check. Position of privilege. Thanks to your noble birth, people are inclined to think the best of you. You're welcome in high society. Okay, maybe I don't have to have you make a check. And people assume they have the right to be wherever you are. Common folk make. I mean, these are your people. Some of them at
Well,
least.
Some of them, yeah.
Okay. All right. So here's what happens. This guy, like takes a step forward and like towards the rest of them, and he says, "Just look. I can verify. Just don't do anything. I'll be right back." And the others kind of like shrug. And then he looks towards this lady over here who threw the rock, and she gives him a slight nod. And he takes off. He takes off at a brisk pace. Basically, he's jogging or running out of here. Not like he's afraid. I mean, although there's probably like a sense of everyone's kind of afraid. But yeah, like a sense of urgency. All right, and then he like disappears. He runs off map. And then this lady kind of like steps out over here to look at some of the rest of you, and she points at Ishu, and then to Lyram, and she says, "What about these? Who are they?"
They're with us. They're heroes as well.
Yeah, I guess she's speaking Sylvan.
They seek to help us with our goals.
And she like gives a concerned look towards the rest. This guy kind of takes a step back. This dude, if you guys would like to make insight checks, I can kind of give you a read on some of the people you're dealing with.
My insight's not. I don't know if any of our insights are good. We always relied on Vash.
I mean, Sha'ah's is good,
My
right?
insights.
Ooh.
Oh, never mind. My chest point's okay.
All right. So, Orilyn. Wow.
Sha'ah,
You
wow,
guys,
Sha'ah,
I
10.
mean, you're all pretty good. Okay. Lyram, do you want to make a roll too? Tim?
We lost him.
He's not muted.
Does Melora also know Sylvan?
Yes.
Yeah.
But she rolled out that one.
Yep.
No. Beautiful Melora. Beautiful.
Ishu looks nervous. All right. Well, Tim, I hope you're okay. I'm just gonna send him a message.
It appears, Ishi, that she has a liking towards you.
Okay. Okay. So this is the leader of these folks here. Most of these people kind of look indifferent. The Eladrin are more leaning in your favor right now because the other one seemed to have sided with you, so they're like trusting his play kind of thing and just reading the room.
You know what I remembered after the guy ran off is I actually have a scroll of pedigree that shows proof that I am who I say I am.
Okay. All right.
So she will pull that out, I guess, while they're waiting to show them.
Okay, sure. This guy here specifically seems not cool with this. Like he's just not hearing you at all. And so yeah, they're all kind of like taking you all in. You let them know that Lyram and Ishu are like with you, helping back your play. And man, that's weird. Maybe Tim's having audio issues. I don't know. That's anyway. That's weird. He's never done that before.
He said he was back when we came back from break, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it did.
He did.
Yeah. Maybe he had to step away.
Mhm.
All right.
Forgot to CRB.
Or maybe he fell asleep or something.
Oh no.
All right.
I hope he's feeling better. I forgot to ask if he was doing better after.
He had a fever last week.
Yeah. It's been some. I had a friend who got strep throat. There's been stuff going around. All right. So yeah. So that's basically what's going on here. So this one steps forward and she says to the other ones, like, what do you all think? What do you think we should do? And these two are immediately like, while we wait, she says, he said he's going to verify that he'll be right back.
Lyra moved.
Who do you all serve?
These two step forward and they say, what do you mean? Who do we serve? The others just kind of watch.
Who is leading your group?
They point to this lady here.
And what are your goals?
To stay alive. What do you mean? This one's talking to you.
Merely to stay alive, not to fix the issues?
Do you have any idea what's going on?
We just killed a god.
Hey.
Trying to save our home.
Yeah, they look.
We know what's going on, possibly more than you do.
They look towards the others. Yeah, just the others kind of look concerned. And she says, "What do you mean you killed a god?"
It's working. It was working with that which is taking over our home.
Odayn's gonna take Orilyn's shoulder, or he's gonna like grab Monster's shoulder and be like, Orilyn, we might not want to come on too strong. They're very wary of us, and we don't want to jump out of the gate with that. We're here to save Lord Oberon.
Yeah. As you guys say that, there's like a splat from above you. Like something lands on top of this barrier that you guys are all inside. As you look up, you see a red smear running down the side of this barrier. I think you guys all look up at the sky at this point, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you look up at the sky, and what you see is that red sky I was describing. And that sort of like deep red color of the sky. And then you see like these dark, like spindly. They almost look like really tall trees at first. When you see them, like they'd have to be immense for you to be looking straight up and still seeing them kind of in the corners of your vision. And then you realize, because there's like this sort of like low thrum that you can kind of like, it's not like you hear it, you more or less kind of like feel it in the ground. And when that happens, you can see these like large, like spindly dark structures at the edge of the sky kind of like pulse slightly. And then as they do, the rest of the sky just so slightly kind of like ripples as you realize that what you're seeing above you is not sky at all. It's skin. And what the spindly things, those are like immense veins or arteries that you're seeing.
We're inside something.
How can we tell how they look? Are they reacting to it at all?
Not particularly. Like they look at it when it happens, and you know they seem to start slightly. This guy here says, "See an omen." And like steps forward and he says, "We know who you serve. You cannot trick us." He says, "Your flesh cannot help you in there. You are trapped." Like looks towards the others, and he says, "If we knew what's good for us, we would kill them now." He like goes back and he rests against this like pillar.
Do you think we serve the flesh?
This guy, he says, "Do not listen to them. They are liars." And these two don't seem convinced by his words. Everybody else kind of is like going back and forth.
We don't recognize any of these faces, do we? Like they're not the ones from that one dimension we were in, or we met here some.
No, you didn't. You don't recognize none of these folks were there. Yeah, I mean, in Orilyn, you lived here. You probably don't recognize these people for the most part. I mean, they're kind of just a random assortment of people.
As they're, I guess, talking about saying we're liars and stuff, Orilyn will hold up her bow, and say, "This was a gift to me from my Lord Oberon. If I was a liar, I don't think it would work for me anymore."
Yeah, like this one who's been quiet kind of steps forward for the first time and takes a look. She says to the others, if they have attacked them, killed one of their gods, like they say, that could mean trouble for us." And then this one who seems to be like sort of like taking in everything they have to say, kind of nods and looks up at the others.
She's gonna look at the two Eldrin that have stayed, and she's gonna say, "Are you content with merely just trying to survive in a world where survival most likely won't last long if something isn't done?"
This guy steps forward and he says, "You say you serve Oberon?" You aim to bring him back? Well,
Yes.
he's dead, and all of the other Archfey failed or ran.
All of the other Archfey except my Lord Oberon and the Lord guy whose name I have to pull up, Nathir, are cowards.
Yeah.
And Sir Nunes, she looks at Sha'ah.
What do you mean?
He's not a coward either. He's one of the good ones who are doing what they can to fight against that. And she points out.
Yeah, don't you understand? We have the same hooves. Look at my hooves.
Make a persuasion check, Sha'ah.
Gosh. Come on.
Nice.
All right, hey. So yeah, a couple of them they do look at your hooves.
Are these not from the Feywilds? We share the same same sad story. We were attacked by those aberrations, were we not? I'm still looking for my family. If you ever met the Shahs, please tell them I'm here.
This one goes, poor things, they don't seem to understand how bad it is. And this guy goes, this guy is like, there isn't any hope for us anymore. He says, the Feywild is gone, consumed.
That's why we're trying to revive Oberon, so that he can reclaim the Feywilds.
Yeah. Persuasion check.
Persuasion.
A natural 2, and you got a 15. That's a serious
Epic
bonus.
persuasion.
All right. So he kind of like he looks like he's gonna say more, and then he thinks better of it and takes a step back. And he says to the rest, "What do you all think? Handful of people save the whole realm?" And the others kind of like think to themselves. This lady here steps forward, and she says, "It wouldn't be the first time, certainly." And she like takes a look at you all again, and she says, "How do we know you are who you appear to be? These creatures, they seem to be able to change what they look like. They've impersonated saviors before."
Did it seem like they believed me when I said that I wouldn't be able to use the bow if
Make
was
make
one
an
of the liars?
make an insight check.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but
Okay.
jeez.
It's really good. Okay, so a couple of them kind of believe you. Like the Ladrin kind of believe you. It even seems like the leader more or less believes you. A few of them are questioning. This guy straight up doesn't believe anything you guys are saying.
Yeah.
For the people that are questioning kind of in demeanor, and the guy who doesn't believe you, it's like the look on their face when you talk about the bow is like we don't even know if she has a bow. Like we don't even know if the bow is real.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I am going to raise my bow and I'm gonna aim it. I'm gonna motion to Ishu to move to the side. That way first.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna aim it like over here. I don't know if I try and hit the thing, if it would like cause the arrow to bounce. I'm gonna aim like at the ground near it. Not at one of the runes, just near the thing. And I'm gonna Eldritch Blast through it using the bow.
Okay.
And I'm going to remember to take what Odayn has recommended by saying the name of my weapon and attack. and so she will say, "Will you come in here, Eldritch Blast?" Oops, I did not click on myself. There we go. There's the first blast.
All right. Yeah, so the arrow fires out, hits the dome, I guess, or the ground, like the ground/dome.
The ground right at like the edge of the domes, so that it might
blast around the area.
It might, like, maybe it'll do enough damage to the dome to free us, you know. But
Okay,
she's not
yeah.
actually aiming at the dome specifically because she's afraid of ricochet.
Yeah. Okay. So it do you knock back 10 feet?
That would be funny, but I think it's limited to just creatures.
Oh,
When you
okay.
hit a creature with Eldritch Blast.
All right, so you like blast the ground right by the edge of the dome. It does kick up some
Yeah.
of the like the sand, the powder. And it hits the dome and it kind of like ripples around the area as the powder like slides down the dome. It can't go through. And like where it impacted, it dents the ground a bit. You can see like the dome goes under the ground as well. It goes like where the part where it kicks the sand up, the dome goes under the ground itself. It's like the part that kicks up. It's almost like it looks more like it's probably spherical shaped than it is like half circle.
And does it look like only the sand inside the dome got moved, none of the stuff outside?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now I know my spells won't work through it. Good to know.
I mean, you can keep firing. You got more blasts left, right?
She's got the two more blasts. She's just gonna keep firing at the same spot. I'll do the other 2 rolls.
All right, so same thing again and again. You're not gonna try to hit the dome itself.
She might with the last one, just to test.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you hit the last one, it explodes in the air, and the dome ripples. Sort of like around you guys. There's no ricochet or knockback. You're not injured in any way. I think the arrow probably just like disintegrates.
Yeah. Well, it's an arrow of Eldritch Blast, so.
Okay.
And then when she's done, she'll turn and look at them. Like confidently.
The archers, when you do this, they aim their crossbows at you in response. They like tense up. They don't fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, they aim their stuff at you. It starts some of the other people. And yeah, they just kind of watch. And the leader says, "What do you think? Is this convincing enough for everyone? We know they can do things like this." And this guy steps forward and he says, "Look, they'll be back soon. We just keep them here, and when they do come back, these are the first ones we give to them. If they can do what they say, then they'll just fight them off themselves. Better them than more of us."
Who were they exactly?
Yeah, you're like, who are they exactly? And this lady says, "The liars."
You're giving our people to the liars.
She says, we don't give, they take.
How many of them are there?
Like, how many people are left? Or
How many liars are there?
We know of hundreds. There could be more.
How many of them usually come at a time?
A few dozen.
Who did that one go to? Where did he go to confirm that what I say is true? Is he going to talk to them?
This one steps forward and she says, no, I think he was going to. Well, there's more of us here. I think he's trying to verify who you are. Maybe he knows someone you know. She goes.
Ask Avatar
She goes.
something.
She goes. You said Favyre, right?
Yes. You don't recognize the name?
She turns towards the others, and she goes. She doesn't even answer your question. She goes, I think there was another Favyre in town.
Orilyn perks up immediately. Do you know the name?
She turns back to you, and that's when you all hear a man's voice, a familiar man's voice. Orilyn, call out, "Stop!" And you guys see like two people come running back up the trail. The first one is the guy who left, right? The second one is your father. What's his name?
Her father's name is Olatorin. And he just I don't remember if I said this when we were talking about setting up Orilyn, but he would not call her Orilyn because he's always called her by her child name.
Oh, we had a scene with him like in your first session.
Yeah.
What was okay? So you're gonna have to remind me. What was your child? Oria? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So they come walking up. Yeah, and he looks at you and he recognizes you immediately.
She calls out, "Father!"
Yeah, he stops and he goes, Oria. I couldn't believe it was true. You're alive then.
Of course I'm alive. It takes a lot to kill me.
Yeah, he
Told
turns
you.
and he's like, "You're gonna let her out immediately." He starts like chewing the others out. Get her, get my daughter out of there.
Come on.
And the others are kind of like, "Yeah, okay. Clearly you can vouch for her. Like, calm down." And so there's a bit of that going on as they all, and then of course this guy's still trying to argue against it, and all that, and as they sort of like seem to come to the agreement, like, okay, we're gonna let you out. Like, this guy's convinced us. This guy's not happy about it. He takes a step back, and this lady steps forward, and she reaches into her satchel and pulls out another glowing rock. And she looks up at the guys with the crossbows, kind of like gives them a look. They relax a bit. And she starts to hold out the rock to like let you guys loose. And then something happens. First.
Uh-oh.
So, is right. Let's see here. Okay. Appearing in the center of the circle, and a puff of smoke, and steaming, and on fire currently, is Vash.
On fire?
I mean, he is on fire. It probably goes out like after a second or two.
Okay, I was gonna say
Like-
if it
like-
doesn't come out right away, Orilyn would look at Melora like, quick.
He doesn't like he doesn't like appear gently. Like he appears like probably like 5 or so feet up in the air, disoriented, right? So like he hits the ground and tumbles, I think. And when he does, maybe like him rolling over and falling puts the fire out.
Stop,
Yeah.
drop, and roll, Vash.
Even if the fire's out, I'm gonna ask Melora to douse him.
Yeah. Okay. So
Mean.
does she have Odayn? Does she have something like? Because I don't have her sheet open. She probably does, right?
I know she has create water.
Yeah.
Water.
Yeah. Okay. Because I'm used to having to have her stuff
Trade
on.
or destroy water. Yeah.
Yeah. So she can do that. It appears
As
like
she's
rain.
doing that, Orilyn will quickly look at them and say, "He's with us. We know him."
Yeah, when he appears in a pillar of smoke and fire, everyone gets uneasy again. Of course, right? Looking at him, he does not look good. He's severely burned. He's got these horrible scars all over, like his parts of his clothes have been burned off, like on his shoulder, and like around his hands have been burned more. Like the edges are kind of singed, right? Like his eyebrows have probably been burned.
He has no hair.
Yeah, I mean, he's not looking great, right? He's
no.
and yeah, I'm just gonna ignore that. But you can see these horrible scars, like on one arm in particular, and on his like hands where he had grabbed the guy's wrist. Yeah.
What happened to you?
As Melora like pours the rain on him, there's this sizzling sound. Like he's literally like as the rain like steams as it hits him. So each drop that hits him, it's like pss, 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 like it's dropping into a hot skillet. Yeah.
Where's Agape?
Vash is gonna immediately start trying to like get out of his armor.
Okay.
Trying to like remove all the upper clothes.
Because it's hot. It's blistering hot, and metal's gonna hold on to that heat for sure if you got studded leather on, or whatever. Yeah, good move. All right. I mean, it'll take you a few minutes. I think it's like,
It's a minute, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah,
For light armor.
You can do that.
And I don't think he responds to Odayn right away. He seems very focused. He kind of struggling because every time he grabs something, he winces a little bit from his hands, but he is still struggling to try and like undo the straps and get the armor off.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, now this one takes a step back. Of course, like everybody starts, and then your dad is like, "You're still going to let her out." And the leader lady is like, "Okay, here's what we're going to do. You all, including your new friend here, one by one, you're going to tell us who you are and what you're doing here. Try to keep away from the fantastical." And he like looks over at the rest, and your dad, Udalon, is that what it was? Olatorin. Olatorin. He says, gosh, sorry, there's so many different names. He says, why? What did she say? And she takes a step back and she goes, she said, they said they're going to resurrect Oberon, bring him back. And like we see your dad's his eyes kind of go wide a bit. Yeah. Ishu probably would run up to you, Vash, and like make sure that you're okay.
Yeah.
All right. So They sort of look at you all. What do you guys do? They're sort of like waiting on you all to like, all right, tell us who you all are one by one.
She wants us to one by one say who we are and then like our version of why we're here.
She's basically saying like, what are you really doing here? Like, you're not resurrecting a god.
How long of a how long of a description do they want?
I guess as long like you could just be like, I just want to communicate to him the gist of this or whatever. You can be like that if you want. I'm just giving you a chance to RP if you want to do the RP thing. You don't have to.
Yeah.
He's gonna look at everyone and see if they want to go first. If not, he's gonna go first.
Yeah, this would be like our or for the audience, maybe the folks who are new, I guess, give us a look individually at all your characters again, your motivations and stuff. It's just the opportunity.
I think when Odayn is looking at everyone, Orilyn's doing the same exact thing, so they probably would step forward at the same time.
So I think Odayn's gonna motion at Melora to come to him. And if Orilyn doesn't say anything, he's gonna start. My name is Odayn. This is Melora. Melora is a primordial of water, and she used to be friends with Oberon. Oberon entrusted her with his orb that we're using to resurrect him. But in order to resurrect him, we need to go to his sanctuary. Was that right, Melora?
She stares at you. His palace, his tree. And
right,
then
his
like
tree.
one of the people in the crowd is like, his tree fell. How are they gonna get to it? There's no way to leave. And then they stop talking. They think better of it. Maybe somebody elbows him.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
We understand that his tree is overrun by the liars, but it's better to try than to just leave things in the state that they are. Melora, do you have anything else to add? That's basically the gist of why we're here.
Yeah. She's like, what he said. Make a persuasion check. With advantage, we'll say. Melora's helping you, kind of. $28. Okay. Yeah. You see a few of the people in the crowd kind of like nodding. Okay. Yeah. You seem to have convinced some of the people. For sure. Even this guy's softening up a little bit. All right. So you, Melora, can check that off. Who's next? Orilyn, probably.
Yeah. Orilyn steps forward, and even though she knows it's not good to give full names to Faye, she's gonna do it anyways. And she announces herself. I am Orilyn Favyre of the House Favyre and servant of the great Green Lord Oberon. He sent me on a mission to figure out what was going on when bits of the flesh first started showing up. And I met all these wonderful people who have chosen to join me in coming to the Feywilds to save him and our home. And as for why we're here all of a sudden, instead of normal means, we sought the help of one who was recommended to us. And while in his residence, we were attacked by, and she looks at the Death, the Arcana. That's right. He's an Arcana, and because she's still getting used to Arcana, and Death killed the one who was going to help us after he used magic to show us something that was happening, which was the liars ate a baby that Death gave to them. And then Death came to us and killed Ubermal. That's the guy who's helping us. And after we killed Death, the place of Ubermal's residence was falling apart, and we had to emergency teleport out. And that's why we're here. In this spot.
Okay.
And our goal is, even if the tree is mostly destroyed, we still must make our way to the grounds of Lord Oberon's palace to bring him back.
All right. Orilyn and Odayn take 2 XP for RP. All right. And yeah, your dad is like, look, if there's anyone who could do it, it's Oria. And make a persuasion check. Advantage because your dad is helping you. I just realized it a minute ago. Melora rolled as Odayn. So let's go. Oh no, you have advantage. You have advantage. Roll again. 17 is better. Okay. Yeah. So, most of them are listening to you. This he's kind of on the fence with you, but it seemed like Odayn kind of had him a little bit better. But yeah, most of the people are listening to you and they're kind of convinced. Yeah, Kyo. All right. Who's next? I guess Sha'ah, Lyram, Vash, Ishu, Avachai.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. So Shah's gonna come forward and it's like, I'm Shah from the nomadic tribe that lives down by the bay in the Feywilds. I came here looking for my family, and I would like to avenge the Fey people against the abominations that attacked us during that awful day.
Yeah, maybe we get like that flashback to that to when you were seeing the thing when you were like trapped in that tree. Yeah. All right. You can make a persuasion check and take 2 XP for RP.
Persuasion.
All right. Good stuff. Who's next? I guess Avachai will go. He'll be like, I was a priest for death for a long time. I followed an angel, but it seems my former god betrayed us, worked with these monsters. And now I serve it no longer. I found something better, I think. There is hope yet. The fight is not over. We can change things. Make a persuasion as Avachai, I guess.
All right. Orilyn will also chime in and not just change things, make them better. Okay, he does not have persuasion, so it's just and his is just normal, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Right. Come on, Avachai. No. Oh no.
He comes off as just kind of like unsure of himself, right? Because he's like, maybe it's more the fact that he's trying to explain that he used to serve this thing that ended up being evil, and sort of like betrayed and manipulated everybody. Oh yeah, maybe that's it. It's the language barrier. Yeah, because he doesn't speak.
They know common too.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I mean, at least the nobles would know common, I feel.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Just Avachai that doesn't know Sylvan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, whatever it is, it's not very convincing. So that's he tried. So we still got Lyram and Ishu and Vash. While Vash is like trying to get off his burning armor, I guess Ishu can go.
Yeah, Vash is gonna go.
Did the rest of us pick up on how poorly Avachai did?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean,
could Orilyn also speak up and say, several of us are still alive because of him. He's not bad at all.
Yeah, okay, all right. You really tried.
He gave up his life to save us.
Yeah, I mean, not that even if what she said might have given him advantage, that 8.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But she's still trying, so.
Yeah, it's a good try. Lyram, do you want to go or you want Ishu to go first?
Lyram will speak up and say, "My name is Lyram. I'm here as an adventurer. I'm looking for information. I don't have any involvement with this larger conflict."
Yeah, you're just being honest. All right. You got anything else?
I will vouch for the fact that we did kill a god.
Yeah, okay.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, make a persuasion check. And take 2 XP for RP. Oh, oh, buddy. At least it's a 2 and not a 1. All right.
Did Lyram already use his inspiration? I guess it's too late to say you want to use it. But...
I'll allow it. We're getting close to the end of the session.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and use it.
Huh. 11 is better than a 3. Yeah. So there's like a moment where like we see people kind of like gritting their teeth. It's like, oh, he's not really like helping your case or whatever. And then he delivers the line about, "I can confirm that we did kill a god." And he just delivers it like flatly and succinctly. It's like, yeah, he's probably telling the truth about that. You know what I mean? So it brings it up. That's what brings it up to the 11. All right. Ishu steps forward and he says, I'm a good kobold, and I'm here to try to help these guys do the right thing. That's all he says. make a persuasion check for Ishu, Vash.
Alrighty.
Oh my god.
2 2s.
Double 11s.
All right. Yeah. About the same as Lyram.
Man, with all these rolls from the last few people going, I'm really worried about Vash's roll.
Yeah.
They're gonna be worse. I hope it's at least decent.
I would hope it's not too, because if we're looking at an average, right? If we're looking at an average for these persuasion checks, we got a 28, 17, a 19. So there's 3 that are pretty good. And then we got a 5. No, it was an 8.
No, well, I guess if you were gonna give it advantage when Orilyn chimed in the extra bit, then 8. But I was just going with 5.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
And then Lyram got an 11, and Ishu got an 11. So we've got 3 that were pretty good, and we got 1 that was really good, and we got 3 that I would say are like passes, and then we got 3 that I could argue are fails. Right? I think I can argue an 11 is not high enough. So I kind of think it comes down to Vash, right? Like if we're just taking an average of how you guys do. That's all. I'm just trying to build the suspense here.
Prepare to be disappointed
a little bit. So yeah, we cut back over to you, Vash. You've gotten the armor off, and it's just like steaming on the ground, covered in sweat, probably.
Yep. Vash has just dropped the armor on the ground next to the shield that he has abandoned because it's part metal. Those things are steaming. He has stripped his brown robes down to his waist, and his purple cloak is tied around like a belt now. And the fresh burn mark on his shoulder and on his hands are still kind of red and raw. And he just says, "I'm Vash Vashtar. I'm trying to keep these idiots alive as possible. I'm officially having a bad day, and if you want my life story, you'll have to buy me a drink."
All right. Persuasion check.
I'm gonna skip it. Just not even trying.
Oh no! You could choose.
I already knew I was gonna do that before you built that up, which is why I was like, well, that sucks.
Oh man, that's not good, man.
Sorry.
It's not good.
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself.
All right. You can cast Cure Wounds on yourself. That's fine. The dad looks out to the other ones, and he's like, "Look, is there any way we can just let her out?" And this lady like shakes her head, no. And then we see someone come out of the brush and walk under the pillars. It's another satyr. Let's see here. Boom. So she comes walking out of the like the flesh brush, and she's got here's what she looks like. She's got like blood dripping off of her from the flesh, like plants and stuff itself, right? And she like steps forward, and she says, "What are you all doing? We can't let them out, not yet." She like steps forward, and the dad kind of like gets out of her way. Some of the other people kind of like get out of her way too. The leader like steps up, and she's like, "Maybe it's time we fill you in on what's going on." And she's talking to this lady. And this lady goes, "I was listening from the bushes. You can't possibly trust them, not after what happened before." And she looks towards your father, Orilyn, and she says, "No offense. She could be corrupted." And this lady says, "We're pretty sure they're not." And she's like, "We can't be too certain. Perhaps we just open it and see what happens." Orilyn, would you recognize the entrance to the Fade Arc?
The what?
Would you recognize the entrance to the Fade Arc? Have you had any reason to like? Would you have had any reason to go to that place ever?
I don't think her family would have let her, like, unless Oberon ordered it, because they always tried to baby her and like protect her.
Oh, okay. All right.
So,
fair enough. And yeah, so she goes, maybe we should open it and just let them sort it out. And this lady's like, no, we're not going to do that. And she's like, well, they're going to open it themselves sooner or later. And they sort of like huff and think. The dad is like, no, you're gonna let Oria out of there. Look, they're the only people who can help. I don't care if we can't trust half of them. And the leader lady, she says, look, I don't know if it's worth the risk to make things worse than they already are. And they sort of just stand there. Let me roll something.
and you said that the blood is obviously from the flesh, right?
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be affected by that.
No, she doesn't.
Hmm.
Well, at least not that you can tell. Like, she looks like a
Yeah.
normal satyr. You guys want to do anything or say anything? You can.
Yeah, I think Orilyn would call out, why do you trust someone who walks around covered in the blood of the flesh?
Aren't you afraid that she's corrupted?
She like sneers over towards you all, and she says to Orilyn, she says, you obviously haven't been here in some time. While you were away from home, some of us learned how to survive amongst the flesh without being corrupted by it. And she looks towards the others. The others are looking at her like she's insane. Right? Yeah, she's like, oh, this crazy person. Like, what is wrong with you? Kind of thing.
And some of us, and she'll indicate anybody who's participated in removing the flesh curse, know how to remove its curse.
Yeah. She kind of like takes a step back at that, away from you guys.
If you need it removed, you know.
It can be done with difficulty.
She kind of like, all right. Make a persuasion check, somebody. Like, hey, we can cure your flesh problem. We know the magic.
I'll aid Orilyn if I can.
You what?
It does
Aid?
what
I'll
Vash
help
say.
Orilyn if I
Aid.
can.
All right, Orilyn, you can do it with advantage. Vash is helping.
That's how I'm gonna remember to toggle advantage.
Nice.
Yay!
Crit. All right. Yeah, there's the one you needed. All right. So yeah, there's like a look of sort of relent on the rest of them. Kind of concerned from this one a little bit. And they seem like they're gonna do the thing. And my D20 roll does not matter now. So we see like Sha'ah, you have a high perception. Vash, you kind of do too. Maybe you pick up on this. Right before they sort of like relent, and you guys say that, you see Orilyn's dad starting to reach for the pocket that she's keeping the rock in. Like he's kind of maneuvered his way behind her, and he's like about to reach out and just try to take it. And then they sort of like relent, and he looks around and sees that the mood has sort of changed, and he's already reaching his hand out, but he kind of like backs off and like tries to play it off like he was doing something else, like fidgeting or something like that. Yeah, she pulls the rock. We see her pull the stone out of her bag. and she tosses it towards the center. Where it would pass through the barrier, there's a ripple again, as the barrier is like dissipates and fades, leaving no barrier between you guys. And that's when Ishu goes, "Fireball!" No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't.
No.
I was gonna say, and that's when we all attack.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't do that.
I mean, they're all grouped together.
Yeah, exactly.
Me.
And this one steps forward, and she says, "Well, I hope you all can do what you say you can do. It's time to introduce you to the Fleshwild. That's what we're calling it." And she like gestures out as the barrier comes down. You guys can like see this sort of take in, without being interrupted this time, the full state of things. And this is sort of what the place looks like. Hang on one second. I'll put you guys all on this screen. It's not a map. It's more of like what you see when you look out at the area.
Do the rune lights go out when the barrier goes down?
They would, yeah. But I don't have a way to like turn them off on this map, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
If it would just take a few minutes probably, because there's a lot of light sources for those. So, here is sort of like what you guys see looking around. The red sky, the veins in the background, and all the corrupted trees and plants. Yeah, you heal yourself. And yeah, so we see the barrier come down there, like, and we see you guys just like looking out at this corrupted destruction that's taken place here. And I think maybe that's where we end the session. It's just sort of like you guys taking all that in. What do you think?
Still got 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Next part's going to be long.
It probably. I mean, there wouldn't really be another good place to end it. I mean, we can go for 20 more minutes if you guys just really want.
No, it's up to you.
We don't have to end it like on a perfect spot. Yeah, we can go for a few more minutes if you guys really want to. So, what do you guys do now that the barrier's down? Here, let's switch back to the other map then, since we're still there. All right.
Once the barrier goes down, Shaw's gonna hug the lady.
You're gonna hug.
Wait, did you just say hug?
Yeah.
That was when we knew it was going to be a fight.
Yeah. You go to hug the lady. When you do, her face turns into tentacles. No, they don't. She's kind of like taken aback by it, I guess. But yeah, she after a second or two, she kind of like hugs back and kind of furrows her eyebrows, like one-handed hugs back. And then
Orilyn,
she takes a step away from you when you stop.
Orilyn moves past them as they go to hug her father, but as she's passing, she mutters something about, "I thought hugging led to babies." And then she goes to hug her father.
Yeah, she has a concerned look on her face when she hears that. So, yeah. All right. Yeah. You go hug your dad, and of course he hugs you back. It's like he squeezes way harder than is necessary, right? It's been a while since you guys seen each other.
Yeah.
And yeah,
probably for the first time of all the times he's ever given her such a bear hug, she's doing her best to not complain, because when she was younger she complained.
Right on. So you guys have this like happy almost like a tear-filled happy moment reunion. And yeah, he's happy, and he's like, "I'm so glad to see you, Oria." And he's like, yeah, it's nice and wholesome.
When he says Oria, she's like, Orilyn, father. Orilyn.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, hush, your mother's gonna be so happy to see you." And he like,
Mother?
he nods.
What about she lists her brother's names.
His
Where I wrote that.
Yeah, his face gets a little more grim. When you mention that. But he tries to like play it off, right? So he tries to play it off as like, "Oh, let's not talk about that right now," kind of thing. He plays it off kind of well.
Let me see my would be like an insight, like, or is
Sure.
it obvious that
You could do it. You could do insight. I give you advantage because you know him really well. But yeah, the DC would be. We'll say DC is 15. Ooh, interesting. So yeah, maybe you ask about your brothers, and he like somehow changes the subject.
and she doesn't get why?
Yeah. Is 5e tools broken? I just want to see.
I just used it and it's working.
Okay, yeah, it wouldn't load for a second there. That was weird. All right. Keyword. Okay, go ahead. You gonna do something, Odayn?
Can I ask the lady that Sha'ah's hugging? Excuse me, what's your name?
Hey, you have Melora.
Melora and I look at each other and be like, okay, Sha'ah, what's her name?
Oh yeah, I Sha'ah tries to like pull one of his like sweater sleeves and then shows his new muscles. It's like, so what's your name? And who protects you here?
Does he pull out the one that he originally made for Orilyn and then never gave to her?
No, not the clothes. It's just showing like his muscles.
Oh, he takes off his own sweater.
Yeah, he just takes that.
Okay.
Make a intimidation check. Or
Let's see.
performance or athletics, maybe. Like you're flexing, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna use my advantage on one of these.
Okay.
Maybe. What did you say? Athletics. I'll do athletics.
I'll give. Okay, I see. Never mind. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's see how she rolls. 1 second here. Okay, she would have not a very good bonus. All right. All right. She kind of like she kind of tries to play it off, but she is kind of impressed. She like fakes it as like a slight giggle, right? But yeah, she's kind of impressed, for sure. So good job. All right. Does anybody else want to do
What?
Yeah, does Sha'ah get experience for that?
Did I not give Sha'ah experience for RP?
You did.
No.
Did you? For the inside the ring.
Yeah, I thought I did. I thought I gave Sha'ah 2 XP.
I must have missed that part.
I think everybody got experience.
Except for Wolf right there.
Let me add that.
He turned it down.
He turned it down.
He also got experience earlier.
During his scene. Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
All right. Yeah. So she she kind of like scoffs, and then she like reaches out and feels your bicep or something.
Oh my.
All right. So what are the rest of you guys doing now that the barrier is down? Do you guys all just like walk through the other side, or you guys?
Wait. Wait, did she ignore when we asked her what her name was?
Oh no, sorry, she wouldn't. It's Onkit, Onkit. She'd be like, you can call me Onkit. That is her name.
You might call her Sha'ah soon.
She kind of has this like, what does that mean? Look on her face, because you say that out loud, and that's canon now. And Melora's walking by, and she goes, "Oh, everyone in Sha'ah's family is named Sha'ah." She just says it nonchalantly. All right.
I like how we're all just like, oh, I thought hugging meant baby or led to babies or whatever, and then Melora's like, Sha'ah is their family name. Everybody in their family, this poor person just met Sha'ah. And they're already getting picked on by all of the other party members.
She's supposed to be the leader.
Yeah. Oh well, it's just for laughs. Okay. Does anybody else want to do any silly things? Or I'm gonna move.
It looks like Vash and Ishu moved up. Are they looking at something?
They have a reunion.
I think they're kind of just trying to get out of the thing. They do seem to be actually making it
the whole time.
Make an insight check. Somebody, Orilyn, maybe, since you were the one who's like, what are they doing?
Oh, I don't think Orilyn's paying any attention to them.
All right. Well, if anybody
that was just me.
Yeah, I was going to say Vash is busy trying to talk to Ishu and Tulpa mentally. So
okay, let me see.
He's asking Ishu what the hell's going on, and Ishu's probably saying, "I have no idea."
Yeah, Tulpa's still there. He's still responding to you.
Cool.
He's
still alive.
Yeah. He seems kind of okay. Like, you know, he might sound a little, I guess, wounded if he ever does sound wounded, kind of like you right now. But yeah, he's kind of okay. Responding as normal for the most part. All right. So, as you guys step out, your father is like, you know, you guys are hugging and everything. And your father goes, so how do you all plan on getting out of the city?
Who says I'm going out?
Well, you have to make it to the tree, right?
Oh, the tree's here?
It's outside of the city. Oh, settlement, city, whatever.
Yeah, someone like gestures up at the sky, and you hear someone like in the crowd say, "It's outside the barrier. We can't find a way through."
Could you take us? Is it possible to teleport outside the barrier?
Yeah, a couple people look around.
I have a spell that allows me to take someone with me up about, I want to say, maybe 500 feet away.
Does face step require sight?
Face step does, and Missy escape too.
I was going to say, so I assume they tried that because there's like 9 Eladrin there.
Yeah, Dimension Door does not require it, which is what she's talking about.
Well, these Eladrin aren't player character Eladrin, they're monster Eladrin, so let me check their abilities.
They all have.
They do still.
Face step is a racial trait. Yeah.
They got it as a bonus action. It recharges. Okay. At least the autumn ones do. Oh, yeah. It looks like spring.
Yeah, they all should.
Yeah, they all do. Okay. All right. Yeah. I think the Eladrin would speak up and say, we've tried. It doesn't work. There was a couple of us who tried earlier on. Well, they didn't come back. We think maybe We think maybe it's too thick. That they got stuck somehow.
How do the liars get past the barrier?
They look towards the platform that you were just standing on.
What, this thing? They get through this thing?
Yeah, this thing here.
Is
You
this
all
where
came
they
from?
Did they come in from this one too?
Yeah, the leader nods and she says they come up from the ground. This thing here opens normally to the Fey Dark, but they seem to be able to use it for their own purposes.
Did you put up the barrier again and trap them inside?
We've tried. They usually just leave. Come back another way.
Do you know the other way that they come?
Yeah, she gestures towards the area that you guys are in, the ground's all like this sand stuff. She gestures towards the ground out off the map, like where it's like more flesh covered soil and plants and stuff. And she says, anywhere we can't salt the earth. And you realize that like this sand that you guys have been seeing and standing on and stuff, it is salt. It is all salt.
They don't like salt?
Yeah, she says they can't come up through it. And she like their spell, whatever it is they use, doesn't seem to work through it.
How in the hells did you figure that out?
Well, we started by trying to get rid of the corruption itself, the plants. It seemed like a desperate attempt. We didn't want to kill the life growing here, but we had few options. When we first tried blocking them here at this barrier, they came up nearby. We salted the ground there later to cut off the plants. And the next time, they came up in a different place. Rinse and repeat, we figured it out eventually. The problem is we don't have enough salt to salt the whole city. And if we did, we wouldn't survive for long, would we? We have to grow some food.
You said earlier that they come and snatch you guys. Do they come very often?
Yeah. She says every few days.
Is there any sort of rhyme or reason or pattern?
They shake their heads. No, it seems at random. It's different ones, and they seem to have their own personal preferences.
Are they choosing who's taken, or are you offering people?
They choose.
Have you tried fighting back?
We have. They kill more. We have nowhere to run. We're like a bug trapped under a cup. Like gestures towards the sky again. There's no way out.
How many did you say come again?
Usually dozens at a time. There's few of us left already. Most of us will try to hide when they do come, but they go looking.
Perhaps we should see all that we have left here, or maybe we can plan something.
Yeah, she nods. We could just find a way out. We were starting to think maybe we take our chances, go into the Feydark, but it seems just another risk. We don't know the others that went there are alive.
And how did the ones who tried to go through the barrier, what type of teleportation were they doing?
A few of them knew Dimension Door. Let's see here. Let me look at. You arrive exactly the spot desired. It can be played. You can see one you can visualize or one you can describe by stating the distance and direction. Yeah, Dimension Door. So yeah. So what they're saying is like we think it's like it's not just a thin layer of skin. You know what I mean? Like, because Dimension Door you can teleport like 300 feet or something.
500 feet.
500 feet.
Yeah, that's why I was having her confirm, because she knows of, the face step is only 30 feet and Misty Escape is only 30 feet. Or no, Misty Escape is 60, sorry. And then the Dimension Door, 500.
Yeah, they would
also tree stride.
They would also tell you that they've tried like cutting through it too, and they can't damage it with blades.
And you tried throwing salt at it.
They nod. Yeah, the salt doesn't repel the flesh itself. It'll stop it from growing and like kill the plants it's growing on, but like the barrier, it doesn't seem to work on.
Sounds like our best option is to force some of the liars to let us out.
We tried burning it.
Yeah, they say we've used torches, but not fire.
Or something a little bit stronger than that.
No, flaming arrows we've tried. Not much stronger available. But perhaps you can figure out a way. If you can bring Oberon back, maybe you can think of something.
We will bring him back.
And it is at time. So, what? Maybe here's where we get that same ending. So yeah, I mean they're gonna basically like take you towards the post flesh corruption, or apocalypse city of Mithrandain, the Fleshwild, as I'm calling it. I really like that name. And basically like there's a few survivors that are living here, in the ruins of this, city. And maybe that's where we leave off, is like you guys walking towards into the town proper, and seeing like other people peeking out of windows and stuff. And like in general, like a lot of the people here look worse for wear. You probably would see other people with blood soaked on them, like this other satyr here, just from moving through the brush and stuff. And like everybody's kind of like downtrodden and hungry looking, and that sort of thing. Like these people have been struggling to survive.
When we see more of those that are covered in the blood, Orilyn, that'll remind Orilyn to ask, are there any corrupted who need help?
Yeah, some the lady who's like leading you all into town would say something like, I don't know if there are any that are still alive, but you can really cure it.
Who all has been cured from it again? I know Orilyn
quite a few people.
and Vash, was it? No, Vash
Vash did the
didn't tell
curing.
anybody, right?
I don't know if Vash ever got corrupted. That was from the Slod stuff, and no, he didn't tell anyone.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, the slot.
The flesh corruption never affected him. It doesn't.
I could have sworn somebody else did, but I think they aren't with us anymore then.
There's been other.
I know Fee had to be cured, right? Or no?
Yeah. Well, it was either Fee or Seraphina, I think.
I think
Orlin was the one that got put on the table, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Fee and Seraphina are immune to it.
I don't know who else it would have been. Maybe one of
I don't know.
characters?
I could have sworn somebody did because Orilyn helped them that time.
Claes might have gotten infected at one point. There was one point, like when early on in the Feywild's arc, when you guys were still just like going through
you're right.
the jungle, that you all were like, there's a bunch of people catching it, and Avichai had to keep working with somebody else to heal a couple different people.
But Orilyn didn't help until later. There was one that was more recent they were like, well, we don't have anybody now that Avichai's stone
Gone.
who can do this.
Yeah.
And Orilyn said she could.
Yeah.
But I guess since we can't remember who exactly the other person was, and Orilyn's the only one we know for sure was, she says, yeah, they helped me.
And yeah, okay. So she says, well, that's better than killing them and burning the bodies, I suppose. And maybe that's where we end the session, with you guys like walking into this town, just on a very bleak note. Just on a very bleak. Well, it's better than killing them and burning the bodies, I suppose. And then we go to credits.
Yeah, Orilyn's trying to give them hope.
Well, welcome to Mithrin Day. The survivors fishbowl, ant farm, food buffet for the liars.
Definitely a farm of some sort.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So we'll see how you guys figure out how to get out of here and get to the tree next session, I suppose. Everybody take an extra 3 XP. You guys all did good today.
Yay.
And
we avoided combat.
Yeah.
Right.
You did. You avoided combat. I mean, there was the potential for combat here. I'm not gonna lie. But you guys did good.
I mean, we were ready for it. We had readied our actions.
And of
course, combat. He got attacked.
Yeah.
What was
I took
that?
a lot of damage for avoiding combat.
Yeah,
you did.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, if actual combat had broken out in your intro scene there, Wolf, I doubt.
Oh yeah, I was dead.
Yeah, I doubt there'd be much you could do.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of glad it didn't. All right. Well, couple things, like general announcements. So tomorrow night, we are giving away the first of 3 copies of the Neighborhood ttrpg at the show Broken. So if you want to make sure you win a copy, just make sure you're at the live stream tomorrow night, and you'll probably need to type something like Broken in the chat to get entered, and then we'll give it away at the end of the episode. We're going to do the same thing for episode 5 and episode 6. We'll give away a copy on each of those episodes too. And what you guys can do is go thank Arcana Media. They're on Twitter. They also have a website, arcana.com. It's ARAUKANA.com. And special thanks to Federico Sones, who kind of like supported us and basically offered to do that giveaway for us. So big thank you to them. So Also, you can check out artwork for things like Vash's artwork on the show. There will be links in the description on YouTube for that. There's links to the Twitter page for the channel. There's links to music that we use on the show and the licenses for that. Most of it's from Dark Fantasy Studio. And all that kind of stuff. There's also the Deviant Art page for Soriko. That's Soryko for Orilyn's virtual avatar here. If you guys want to check that out, support them. That's all I got. Is there any other announcements I'm missing? Oh, we're having an episode on New Orleans this Friday. So we're back on this Friday, and I think we're gonna get back on the every other week schedule there too. Yeah. What do you guys think? You guys got anything? Am I missing anything you want to shout out? You're welcome to do it. No? Okay. All right.
No, nothing.
All right. Well, thanks for playing, players. Thanks for watching, folks. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Have a great week.
See ya.
See you guys.